G'day, fellas. Welcome to the first game in the second week of the Global Championships between Kaiserklein, who's spawning in the south of the map on the Dutch, and his opponent, Don Artie, spawning in the north of the map, playing the Swedish. With me this evening is Lacastet. Lacastet is going to be providing some expert insight into this matchup, as well as into the players. Lacastet, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, well, you're putting the pressure on, don't you? I'm doing quite all right. Thanks for asking.
That's wonderful to hear. So tell us a little bit about this matchup. So Sweden versus Dutch. I'm a big Sweden player. Not too big on the Dutch, though. Who do you think is in a better position in this matchup?
I think overall, this is pretty good for Dutch, I'd say. Like, their core units is a pretty good counter to the Sweden core units. With like Skirmreiters being quite good versus Caroline's heavy composition and Hussars as well. Although on this map, which is quite a large map, and it's actually good for Sweden if they want to top here and there on the sides, and it's quite annoying for Dutch to deal with. So curious to see how that's going to go.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's definitely quite an open map for the Swedish player to be getting those torps up, torps to the north, torps to the south, even torps in the middle of the map. Really can go down everywhere, but we see in the beginning of the game already Kaiserklein just putting in absolute work. This is what a lot of people expected. They expected coming into this series, Kaiserklein's probably going to be 3-0ing here. I wouldn't be surprised. He's pretty much cleaned up the entire, the entire pool that he's been in so far, and picking up a couple of goats. So actually stealing a goat from Don Artie and then taking the goat with the envoy that was in front of him. So he had a goat that was just a little bit ahead of him, and he was able to sort of get in front. Now going to be taking a treasure from Don as well. So we have a look at Don's scouting path, and unfortunately, he just hasn't really done too much. It's definitely a difficult spot for him. He's got his torps down, though. Torps are in a pretty good position, both of them gathering food. We'll take a look at their decks. The first card is about to come in now, or the first shipment, rather, for Don is about to come in. It's the 3 villages. What do you think of the deck here?
Yeah, a lot of industrial options for Sweden, 16 Carolines, so it's something you see most of the time. But yeah, all the cards he needs, H3 upgrades, factories, 6 Mamelukes, the Lifeguard, H4 card as well, Jaggers, which is also something you want in your deck versus Dutch in case you have to go for a ranged infantry war. And yeah, Don also being a big fan of colonial militia, so he's going to go with that as well.
Yeah, he's definitely a big fan of Colonial Militia. I've seen him use it quite a bit on his stream. We'll take a look over at Kaiserklein. We'll see what he's up to. He's also got 3 villages on the way. Getting his age up in queue now, going up with the Quartermaster, getting in that idlest 15 villager age up. So a pretty nice opening for him as the Dutch player. We'll take a look at his deck. So also opting for the Colonial Militia. Has both 9 and 7 Reuter, or should I say Reuter, in the deck. Got both of those Cav, or the Cav and the infantry combat cards. 8 and 7 Skirm. No 1,000 coin that we see out from him. What do you think of this deck, Lacastet? Quite standard?
Yeah, quite standard. And at the same time, quite H3 focused, if I can say so. I guess the CM is just there in case Sweden decides to go for a Caroline and Hussar timing in H2. So you might need that CM to hold. But yeah, 7 Reuters, not a card that you always see, but good if you're under pressure, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely think in this matchup, 7 Reuters might be a little bit crazy, just because, Sweden doesn't always make a lot of cavalry. But as you did mention, there's always that option for an H2 timing for Sweden, getting out that double racks, that double stable. It's quite formidable, sending those shipments back to back. We take a look at Kaiserklein's macro. We see he's over-gathering just a very slight amount of food. He's going to be picking up this wood treasure here, the 40 wood, so going to be able to drop down that bank straight away. Getting villagers out over onto the coin mine. Going to be dropping down that bank, I suspect, probably right here. There it goes down now. So going down with a lot of villagers, putting down... How many villages is that? That's 4 villages that he's put down. So initially telling 6 villagers to go over there, but changing it up to 4. We'll check in on Don Artie. We'll see what he's up to. Does he have those villagers moving out over on the map? He does indeed. Look at this. Cheeky Don Artie already topping up his opponent's side.
Yeah. I mean, Sweden definitely needs to take as much space as possible with his torps, and yeah, topping on Dutch side of the map is good as well.
Yeah, we can already see that Kaiserklein has picked up on the fact that there are torps out here. So not looking at the north of the map, more looking towards his own side and spotting that. And we take a look down at the south. We can see his explorers there, but the explorer potentially going to be picking up this villager. Explorer not in melee, but Kaiserklein is on the ball, so he does pick it up. So now, essentially, this is a dead villager because the explorer can just essentially melee this villager forever, following the villager and forcing it to go back because essentially how's the best way to say it? It's a dead man walking. We'll say that much. But we got a barracks going down in the middle of the map right now for Kaiserklein. What are your thoughts about this?
Oh wow. Yeah, going for quite the aggressive start. Using his wood to drop a barracks, a market, and a house, and he's gonna wait for the 700 wood to build his next bank. And I suspect we're gonna see pikemen coming in as the first batch for Kaiserklein.
We do indeed. Pikemen are exactly what are being trained, and he's scouted out where the torps are, so he's going to be able to send pikemen to the north, pikemen down to the south. But I guess one of the things that is so difficult in this matchup for the Dutch player is that Sweden is very slippery. You take down these two torps down in the south, and the villager moves over to, well, look, almost as I say it, we see the villager now at the very south of the map, and Kaiserklein's actually spotted that one out. So Donardi is definitely doing the right thing. One of the things I'm a big fan of is you torp and you move. You torp and you move. And so essentially you just want to torp, drop a single torp down at a mine and then just move on to the next one. I'm a big fan of doing that because it means that there's a lot more walking distance for pikemen. So the pikemen are going to have to come down. And now they're just going to get 2 torps. But if you just put 1 torp here, they'd get 1 torp and then they'd have to move all the way over here. But essentially what Don's doing is he's just buying time. And that's exactly what he wants to be doing in this position. So now we see Kaiser actually sending in the 600 wood. Also going for a batch of skirmishers. I don't think he's going to have the coin to finish this batch. So not sure if that's the wisest choice. What do you think he's aiming to achieve with skirmishers this early?
So I think he tried to scout what Donardi was doing under his DC, and he didn't see any military building. But I guess if he's queuing preemptively skirmishers, then it's because he's expecting Karelians to go and defend these torps. But yeah, I mean, he's gonna pick up a villager for his effort. So
yeah, an unfortunate timing right there. So we saw 3 torps going down towards the north of the middle island and then moving down to the south of the middle island, and unfortunately just running into those 4 skirmishers that just happened to be here. And now we mentioned earlier in the game that this villager was a dead man walking, and now we see exactly why that was. The explorer just snares the villager and chases it down, but now we've got some cavalry coming in. 4 hussars coming in for Don. This is quite big. Going to be able to pick up these skirmishers. And it looks like Kaiserklein's managed to fake him out. It kind of looked like the skirmishers were heading back towards the town center. But now the skirmishers are moving down. I suspect we're going to see some pikemen are moving over as quickly as possible. And a bank wagon coming in behind. So it looks like a couple skirmishers go down. Maybe 3 skirmishers in total. Some of them do manage to survive. So it's definitely a nice early game opening from Kaiserklein. Who do you think's in a better position at this point?
I think Dutch is doing what they need to do, right? So they are putting a bit of pressure and sieging a bit of torps while going as greedy as possible, because I assume he's on like 4 banks by now, right, with the bank wagon?
Yeah, that'll be his 4th bank.
And yeah, that's kind of what you do. Don't stay in H2 too long, but get your banks rolling, try to deny some torps, and then reach the fortress H behind it.
Yeah, I think you're 100% on the money. That's exactly what he needs to be doing. And he's doing a really good job of it. We can see more pikemen in queue as well. One of the things I say about the Dutch is you never really want to be training too many pikemen. But I think in this matchup, that pikemen and training pikemen is definitely something that's more favorable, because you're going to be able to get a lot of siege on enemy torps. And then you're going to be getting a whole bunch of experience that comes in as well from those torps. So we see when this torp goes down, there's going to be 50 experience going over to the Dutch player. And that's, there's 400 experience remaining for the next shipment. That's 1/8 of the way that's going to be accelerating you up there. So definitely nothing to sniff at. We'll take a look over at Don's perspective. We'll see what he's up to. He's got pikemen sieging him absolutely everywhere. He's being sieged on 2 separate torps. He's got his cav running down around the south of the map, but he's got a lot of line of sight up as well, dropping torps down now over on his side, but he's still got a lot of coin mines that are free. He's got an entire coin mine in his base that hasn't been torped, a coin mine to the north that's yet to be torped, and he's still got a coin mine on his side of the map that's only got 1 torp on it. So he's definitely in a really good spot here. Plenty of time here. Now some hussars moving in. Are these hussars going to try and yeah, it's just not going to happen. You can't do that against Kaiserklein. You're never going to pull that off. That is just Don Hardy. What do you think you're doing, mate? You know, you're up against quite literally the leader of the semi-FF gang. You can't be trying to pull those moves off. It's just not going to work. And getting hugely punished. You know, one of the things that we do see players try and do is just get a sneaky attack onto the pikeman and then pull back a little bit. And yeah, really, it meant that Don was hugely punished, copping a massive blow right there. We'll take a look back at Kaiserklein. Kaiserklein got the age up in queue. What are you expecting we're going to be seeing out of him as the first shipment in the third age?
So considering he's gathering wood right now, I think he's just going to go for Reuters first, or maybe 8 skirmishers. I don't think he's going to go 1k wood here. I think he wants to keep being active on the map, keep sieging tops, and get the military lead early H3, so he's able to defend all his pikemen sieging right now.
Yeah, I think you might be right. We can actually see the score lead now. So Dutch normally does over score a little bit, but up about 3k score. And I would say that, you know, it's really been a flawless age too from Kaiserklein as we transition into the third age. And now opting for Reuters, so probably a very wise decision, considering the fact that his opponent does have a stable out, and we've seen the Hussar out from his opponent. We've still got these pikes sieging in the north of the map. Don Hardy sitting on 150 torp pop at the moment, so losing out 3 torps in the middle, we know that for sure. 2 down the bottom, so up to 5. 3 down here, so up to 8 torps in total. This is going to be the 9th torp that goes down. I don't think we've lost any other torps. This will be, so 10 torps. Well, this torp probably will be able to survive a little bit longer, but 9 torps so far. Kaiserklein has managed to take out. So it's an impressive opening from Kaiserklein. Honestly, up to 4k score lead now. Looks like Hussars are going to end up being picked off. A huge amount of anti-cavalry here for Kaiserklein as well. Don Hardy sending the 2 falconets behind it. We've got a charge now heading away, but these units are probably going to get picked up by the Reuter. And now, on the bottom side of the map, look at Kaiserklein just so on the ball. Why do you have skirmishes down here, Kaiserklein? Yeah. Like, this is crazy.
He's just ready for everything.
It's just, he just knows. This is what people say, you know. You know, people often talk about Kaiserklein like he's some sort of bot that's just going to be, you know, playing skirm goon in the Fortress Age as French or as Germans or doing semi-FFs or whatnot. And sure, he's semi-FF'd, and sure, he's making skirmishes and dragoon units. But, you know, it's this kind of stuff that's just so damn impressive. You know, how do you even respond to something like that? What can you do, Lacastet?
Yeah, I mean, I think Don should have made something happen in H2 before. So Dutch can only basically make skirm and pikes in H2. And he had a forward base, which is still a good reason to actually play H2 and go Caroline Hussar until you can, like, break the forward base and stop Dutch for sieging torps, and then actually follow up the fortress. Because right now he's just on the back foot, and yeah, sending 2 falconets, but there's some big mass of Reuters already on the field.
Yeah, already 23 Reuters out at the moment, which is more than enough to deal with 2 falconets. Especially when you consider Don's got double racks up, but he really doesn't have a lot of units. He's only got 15 Carolians out right now. I think, he's actually cancelled the 2 falconets, so he's going into 1,000 coin. So potentially looking at sending Jaegers off this, maybe? What do you think of the other options? Like, realistically, he could be going for an artillery foundry himself. Never mind. He's gone for Jaegers. So I guess that answers that question. So probably a wise decision to cancel the falconets. I think that Jaegers are much better here. What do you think?
Yeah, the problem is they will take some time to be shipped, and yeah, now he's under big pressure, and I can see him losing at least 1 Rex before the Jaegers pop, and yeah, just a bit late for these Jaegers. Imagine if you had 2 falconets now. I know Jaegers is probably the better option here, but 2 falcons would just push Dutch back for the time being.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. Also, if we could have just seen those Jaegers just slightly earlier, I guess it comes down to the foresight and knowing when to send that, but we're going to see those Jaegers pop in now. The skirmisher mass is significant, but I don't think it's enough to one-shot the Jaegers, so the Jaegers are going to be, you know, a little bit advantageous until that happens. We do see that Rax going down, as you correctly predicted, but the score lead now, we see the Dutch player Kaiserklein pulling ahead by about 5,000 points now, so a huge lead coming out from Kaiserklein. And he's looking really good. Look at these pikes.
Far ahead right now.
Yeah, it's just it's impressive stuff. We've got more pikes now burning down these torps that we see. So he's lost in total, how many torps? I'd have to count it up. I think 9. I think that's the 10th torp that he's lost this game. And despite that, still being on 170 torp pops, a really good job at replacing those torps. Keep in mind, he's still got plenty of space in his base to be putting down these extra torps. I say that, but he's got about 2 torp spots that he can drop down right now. And the issue is that Kaiserklein is now sort of reaching that critical mass point. He's up to 19 skirmishes. He doesn't have that infantry combat in just yet. Almost looks like he's macroing towards age 4, potentially. Falconet now in queue as well, so dropping down a sneaky artillery foundry in the back of the base. You can't put this any closer to the back of the base, unfortunately. Yeah. It's, jeez.
Yeah, I think that's a good option there, because, well, he knows that Sweden just sent Jaegers, so, yeah, just going Skirmgun in the long run, just not gonna win versus Jaegers. So, yeah, having either cavalry or artillery would be good, but, yeah, I think artillery is better just because Karelians would deal with Hussars.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. One of the things, people often talk about Jaegers as like this really good skirmisher unit. The fact that you can train them makes them really good. But one of the counterpoints that I often come up against is falconets. A falconet one-shots a Jaeger, a falconet one-shots a skirmisher. So if you've got 10 Jaegers, they're just really expensive skirmishers that still get one shot by falconets. And that's exactly what Donati is about to find out the hard way. Because there's 4 falconets heading for his base. That's a huge amount of siege. That is an absolute massive amount of siege. He's going to walk up to here. He's going to be able to take these out. I think the only real response that Donati could have is to sort of preempt this and then go Culves himself. But to be able to do that and have all the resources for that, it's quite difficult. We've now got the next shipment about to potentially come in. So I'm suspecting we might see Cav Combat or an infantry upgrade. I think it would probably be Cav Combat in this position, though. Just because we've already seen the infantry combat come in. Villager up to the north for Kaiserklein going out. He's dropping down an arsenal in this north position. Probably just aiming to get some line of sight up here. We see
Yeah. No, we see Donati's just retorting behind it as well. But yeah, big fight.
Yeah, big fight about to break out. We've got the Falconets now. Kaiserklein just doing the GUA and just moving in and saying, you know what, I'll tank these. I don't mind. Taking out the first Falconet. Karolian's now running in. Single Falconet going down. Both Falconets for Donati have gone down, but Kaiserklein going to lose all of his Falconets, and the Karolians are just going to do a bit of a runaway. So I would honestly say a net trade win for Donati here. Donati actually closing the point gap as well. So about 3,000 points difference now, 4,000 points rather. Difference, but Don's looking pretty good. Really nice cleanup there. Unnecessary loss from Kaiserklein. It was almost a little bit like a BM move from him, just with the way that he came in there. What are your thoughts about that? Would have you microed that a little bit differently, Lacastet?
I mean, that would be quite bold for me to say that I would have done a better job. It's tournament games. Sometimes you're feeling a bit the pressure, and it happens to make a mismaneuvering, but I don't think this was that awful for Dutch. A better trade for Sweden, but Sweden lost a lot of Karelians as well, so...
Yeah, you're definitely right. We now see with this forward arsenal that Kaiserklein has dropped down, he's picked up counter-infantry rifling, so that's going to be increasing the damage that he does to enemy Karolians significantly. Also picking up range cavalry Caracol, which is about to come in. So going to be increasing the range of the Reuters, as well as increasing the damage ever so slightly. And that's going to be enabling him to, have a little bit more maneuverability when it comes to, say, taking out Falconets from his opponent or heavy cannons in the event Donati manages to get up to the 4th age. We'll take a look at Donati. We'll see what he's up to. He's actually training Jaegers right now from his barracks. This is a tough position. You never really want to be in this position as the Swedes. You never really want to be training Jaegers just because they're so coin heavy. So we take a look at Don, and we actually see he doesn't even have placer mines yet. And he's got 3 coin mines that he's dropped down. So sending in the 3 copper mines from the home city. Got a huge amount of villages, 25 villages now on coin mines. And just, dropping down Jaegers is actually getting amalgamation now. So just picked up the placer mine upgrade. Still losing torps though, but doing a really good job of retorping. Honestly, I'm impressed by the fact he has lost a lot of torps this game. So if we were to count the amount of torps he's lost, it's probably, it's in the double digits. It's got to be like mid double digits, probably around like 14, 15 torps potentially. And despite that, still sitting on...
I'd say the same thing for sure.
Still sitting on 190 torp pop at the moment, so really impressive. Now we see the first Jaegers going down. We've got an artillery foundry. The Culverin is only getting started up now, but I suspect, has Kaiserklein spotted that? He has spotted it. Taking some shots out over on the Jaegers. Huge, massive skirmishes. The Falconets are moving forward. Kaiserklein donating over some Falconets again to his opponent. Second time in the game, so that's 6 Falconets in total donated for free. Well, I say for free, but we just see how quickly those Corollians are melting to the skirmishes. A huge mass. 49 skirmishes.
I mean, when you look at the resources value out of it, it was like 2 Falconets, which is 1,000 resources for like, what, 15 to 20 Caroleans, which is like slightly more resources. Plus
it's
the fact
definitely...
that Dutch, I mean, Sweden is actually on the back foot right now.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. I guess the primary issue is that Kaiserklein doesn't really have any siege, but we see the score beginning to balloon out significantly. How is Kaiserklein so far ahead? Is it just these effective trades that he's been getting? I feel like it can't just be that. You know, we see that when it comes to the banks, he's got his 5 banks up. He's on 44 villages at the moment.
Yeah,
he hasn't lost any villages.
Eco.
Yeah, he hasn't lost any villages, and he's essentially on max eco. More Jaegers coming out, but just the Jaegers just get picked off way too easily by the massive skirmishes, because there's 45 skirmishes at this point. We see the Jaegers doing a little bit of a dance over on the left-hand side. 2 Jaegers getting picked off at the same time. Minutemen getting called out on top of Kaiserklein's infantry. We take a look over at Don. We see if there's any big shipments coming in. There's nothing at all. Just Jaegers and Falconets. A really difficult spot for him. This is a tough matchup, and it's obviously been reflected by the fact that Don is really pushed into the corner and doesn't really know, what to do. He's just massing up Jaegers at this point, and I kind of feel a little bit helpless for him. Is there anything he can really do to get back into this game?
I don't think so. I think he's too far behind right now. Kaiserklein, as we mentioned, is like max eco, 5 pings, 45 wheels. He's got counter-infantry rifling. He's got the Reuters tech as well, infantry combat. So even like Dutch skirms with the infantry combat, they trade all right versus Jaegers actually. Yeah,
they actually do incredibly well. In my opinion, they are. I would much rather have I would much rather be the Dutch player in this position, or at least with regard to the skirmishes versus the Jaegers. Skirms feel really good against the Jaegers. These are just expensive skirms that are about to get picked off. 200 coin a pop, and just getting picked off versus 50 food and 65 coin.
Yeah, they're so expensive, and we see the Dutch player going to H4 now.
Yeah, going up with the Tycoon, so going to be getting in some more coin from that shipment, or rather from that age up. Also getting log flume, some market upgrades, so really securing that. And we've still got goats in the back of Kaiserklein's base. These are just BM goats at this point because they're almost fully fattened. 19 minutes into the game.
Goats, yeah.
Yeah, he's just keeping him. He says, you know what, I don't need him. I'm just going to keep him and just, leave him just because I don't want you to have him. Now we see the skirmisher mass beginning to dwindle for Kaiserklein, down to 32 skirmishers at the moment, so needs to be reinforcing, and he's got 8 more skirmishers along on the way, but it comes back down to Donati's perspective, and did he ever get those? I don't think he ever... Oh no, he's got a single culverin out at the north here, just being hidden. Obviously Kaiserklein's going to know about that because he knows the artillery foundry's there. He spots the 2 Falconets as well, so could be moving this Culve into position, be able to take these Falconets out. They are sitting on top of each other as well. Could potentially get a double shot. Is he moving over? Doesn't look like he's moving over. Getting in snap lock as well. Now he has sent blackberries in, so he's basically running it at full gas when it comes to his economy. Sitting at 180 torp pop. He has just lost 3 torps now. Culverin moving in. Let's take a look. We've got the range indicator. We can actually see how close the range is going to get. Oh, is he going to get the double shot off? I think he might just... He gets the double shot off. 4th age now being hit for Kaiserklein. Those 2 Falconets managing to get away. We'll take a look at Kaiserklein. We'll see what he's up to. He's got that 1,000 coin on the ground, moving a couple villages, I say, but 5 villages moving back to pick that up. And a huge amount of resources that are stacked up right now. So shipping the factory, he does have the option to send in 2 heavy cannons, but opting instead to send in the factory. So probably a wise choice, just more a safe choice. Also getting the guard skirmisher upgrade as well. So not doing too bad at all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, H4 skirmishers with infantry combats are basically as good as H3 Jaegers.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And, it makes it very difficult because Kaiserklein is going to have a huge mass of guard skirms, which, as you mentioned, are basically as good as Jaegers. And Don's only got, the Jaegers that he can make are only makeable through coin And the only coin that Don can get is from the coin mines, and, well, he's exhausted all of his coin mines. He's got a couple coin mines that are being left for the torps. He's trying to get an age up in queue for himself here, at the same time retorping up these coin mines. But now having to transition over to mills while we see Kaiserklein in the south of the map, continuing to farm, dropping down a house for a bit of line of sight, and just, yeah, being really, you know, quite a happy chappy. He's got his steel traps in as well as his hunting dogs. He's looking great. I don't think he can be stopped at this point.
Control.
He's up 11k score.
He can be stopped either.
Yeah, I think this is just Kaiserklein is playing this correctly. Often people would just try and rush in and try and finish the game, but you can never really discount the fact that, you know, there might be a lucky culverin shot that gets both of the falcons down, and then, you know, maybe there's a 2 or 3 falcon swing, and then your opponent's got a whole bunch of Corolli. It's just, you know, stuff that you can't really account for. But now we've got Kaiserklein, who's training howitzers, and oh my lord, look how many mortars he's got. I feel like this is almost a little bit BM, because typically we don't see players go for this many mortars, especially when the opponent isn't like, he's not doing anything, he's not doing walling, he doesn't have a fort up, he doesn't have outposts, he doesn't have like 3 town centers. He's literally just going age 4 by himself. Like the forward most building is a barracks with 1,083 hit points. So a tough spot. Now the culverin, the single culverin is just sitting out the front like, I am the man on guard today, and I'm going to be informing you that there's an army coming in.
Don't worry, boys. I got this.
The culverin almost getting one shot by the guard skirms. 2 shots will take it down. A couple of the Jaegers managing to take out the skirmishers. We take a look at the mass difference. We've got 45 skirmishers up against 27 Jaegers. 26 Jaegers now. Still at the same time, just being annoying down the bottom. And now the howitzers move in. Are the howitzers going to take out the town center before Donardi's able to age? Is that what this was all about? I think that... I think that's what's going to happen.
Be close.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to lose this town center. Oh, look how quickly the town center went down. There's no way he's getting up from here.
Oh my god.
There's no way. Oh my god, it's on 300 hit points. He's not going to get up. He's not going to get up. There it goes. It goes down. And
yeah, that spells the GG, right?
Yeah, that's definitely the GG. Congratulations over to Kaiserklein, winning the first game in quite a nice fashion, I would say.
Yeah, that was pretty convincing. Really good way to play this matchup, in my opinion. A really good use of his H2 pikemen as well, keeping Sweden on the back foot for the entire game, basically.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like, we take a look at the military count. There was just never really a time that Kaiser was behind. Always able to sort of keep up and stay ahead of his opponent. I'm very curious to see the resources gathered. I can't wait for this. Wow, look how close Kaiserklein and Don are. And despite that, you know, less than a 2k difference in resources gathered. And, you know, you can probably largely attribute that to, say, the crates that Kaiser ships in. And still such a massive score lead. Really just incredibly well played. The fact, I think what it really just comes down to is Kaiserklein controlling the torps. And a lot of people say about Sweden that it's very difficult to deal with them, and I accept that. But we see right here, you know, one of the best players in the game just absolutely putting on a clinic of how to deal with Sweden, really put them to shame, and taking out the victory.
Yeah. As you mentioned, pretty convincing game 1 from Kaiserklein. I hope Don got some trick that he can share with us to get back into this series.
All right, I've just fixed up. Let me double check.
I think the one is backwards, upside down.
That my friend is intentional. It's not really. That is not intentional. I'm gonna double check this one as well. Yeah, this one's upside down as well. All right. Let me fix that up. There we go. Thanks for letting me know. That was quite comical. You can never really tell with OBS. Unfortunately, there's no way to tell what way the right way is. So hopefully those are they relatively similar sized. No, Don's a little bit bigger. And let's take him away. He's not a 1, he's a 0. There we go. We'll move him over just a slight bit. There we go. All right, hopefully that one is all fixed up now.
Yeah, looking good.
All right, much better. Shall we get into the second game?
I think we should.
What do you think we're going to see? So, moving into the second game, the map is going to be, let me just double check. So it should be darker. What are you expecting to see out of Kaiserklein? Obviously, Kaiserklein is a man who prepares well for maps, especially darker. It's a more water-focused map. You know, you're expecting to see Portugal out of him? What are you expecting?
I don't think Kaiserklein is a big fan of Portuguese water boom, and which would be like one of the main reasons to pick Portuguese on this map. But yeah, you could go for ATP with Portugal and get the TC on the pond and get control of the pond with warships, which is something. But Donati, on the other hand, Daka, I expect him to play either Portuguese and go for water boom, or doing some weird new Spanish logistician, for example. Maybe Kaiser could go Ottomans as well. So definitely a lot of options there.
All right, well, let's get into the game. We'll find out and we'll see. I'm just going to pause the game at the very beginning of at the beginning just to show, or just to fix up my sensitivity, because otherwise it will be a little bit slow. Oh my god, it's a Spanish mirror. It's a is this the new meta on Darker? It's just, do we only see Spain? All right, so that's fixed up. I might also put on the where is it? Enable right-click camera drag. That one right there. And what I might do, just before we get into the game, I'm going to just press the, instead of pressing the enter key, I want to press here, page up, so we don't actually see any chat in the last game. So, Donati not saying good game, Kaiserklein not saying good game, they just moved on to the second game. I like that. Two men.
Damn.
Just, getting down to business.
Yeah, right. What's the point of BMing when you can just answer by playing and winning games?
That's exactly it. All right, let's get into the second game. Let's do it. G'day, fellas. Welcome to the second game in the series between Kaiserklein and Donati. On this map, we are playing Darker. Now, Darker is a map infamous for the close distance that players spawn to each other with just a very short travel distance over to the opponent's town center. One of the common strategies that we see, players walling in the middle. And Kaiserklein, who spawns in the east of the map, may potentially be walling up to keep his opponent, who's spawning in the west of the map, Donati, just a little bit further away. Obviously, to the south of the map, we've also got quite a lovely ocean with plenty of fish in the sea, though some people may disagree with that.
Whoa, Drongo. Did you just forget that, fish, sea does need more fish? Come on.
All right.
6 whales is not enough, mate.
You're right. Look, we'll talk to the map developers. We'll see if we can get a 7th whale added in. Maybe that'll make, water just a little bit stronger on this map. We see both players now.
Yeah, make it 8 and I think we have a deal.
All right, I'll accept that. So we've got both players going for a trading post. We've got Don in the north of the map, missing out on that pass. So unfortunately, getting the worst spawn on this map. It's this is the best spawn, the right-hand spawn, because you do get that trading post pass. There it is. So we've got that first shipment coming in at 1 minute and 6 seconds for Kaiserklein versus Don, who's going to have to be waiting so far 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8 seconds. It's the real you see the difference, don't you? You really see it.
You just see it.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a 12-10 from Donati?
That's a 12-10 coming out from the big Don. So Don's picked up a couple of yaks, potentially going to be eating these just to get up a little bit faster. We'll take a look at Kaiserklein's deck. We'll see what he's up to, because he's also got those 3 settlers on the way. So Kaiserklein going to be going for 1v1 New England. So pretty standard stuff that we'd expect out of him. We got the 2 caravels, the 1 frigate, as well as ATP. So you did mention ATP as a possibility. So I think that we might be seeing that. He's also picked up a couple of yaks, got the 2 yaks out. What are your thoughts about the deck for Kaiserklein?
It's the most standard deck you can pick on this map. You have ATP options, you have anti-water option with 2 Veas, 1 frigate, and you have pond control options with these warships as well. But quite a land focused deck. But I'm curious to see Don out his deck actually, because he's going 12-10, so maybe we're gonna see Logistician.
I think we might be seeing Logistician. We actually see him passing that threshold and not opting for an age up. So I think we're going to be seeing some Logistician play. It is indeed the Logistician. Here we go. If you like the Logistician, let me see it in chat. I want to see a whole bunch of Let's Go Dons in the chat if you like Logistician, because I'm a big fan of the Logistician. Or should I say the Logistician? Let's take a look at Don Artie's deck and see what he's got. Oh my god, it's disgusting. It is Is this... Can we get an IP check? Is this mashed potato? Is this mashed potato? This is absolute disgusting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards in the deck. Oh, in H1. What are you doing, Don? What are you... So he's got colonial or town militia in there, as well as improved buildings. I don't know what he's planning to do with this, Don. I'm not sure if anyone's told you, but you're playing in a global championship with a prize pool of more than $5,000, and you got 10 Age 1 cards. We've got the advanced dock in there, fish market, schooners.
Not sure if it's global championship, like top 32 players, or just TAD 2008 PR5 playing, like 33 deck in or something like that,
It definitely feels that way. This was the
kind of deck I was using when I was playing versus the AI when I was like 10 years old. So.
Yeah, well, maybe is Don insulting Kaiserklein? Does he think he's playing up against an AI at the moment? I mean, people have said when you skirm goon the way Kaiserklein does that it is a little bit like an AI. But we do see Lucas Garces coming back from Don Artie, the Explorer, returning back to base up against Axilt as well as Camerone. Bringing back El Paso, who's going to be defending him. And we've got schooners coming in now for Don Artie, so quite an early age up as well. So 343, 344 going to be going up, and take a look at the timing on these schooners. Absolutely immaculate. We're going to be witnessing, here it comes, boom, right there. Look at those beautiful resources popping into his inventory. He's got fishing boats in queue. He's got Explorer moving his way back. We don't see any villagers being trained at the moment. 300 wood coming in behind this as well from Don Artie. Very curious to see what he actually aims to do with this kind of strategy. I don't think we've really seen anything like this before. We do see a lot of Spain on Darker, a fair bit of Logistician, but nothing like this. This is absolute insanity. We've got now Don going for a shot. It looks like Kaiserklein might have actually stolen that one away from him. We'll take a look and see who got it. It was Don who secures the 50 coin treasure, rather. Second dock up, third dock going up now. Let's tune back in with Kaiserklein. We'll see what he's up to. Kaiserklein going to the second age. Yeah, definitely 3 docks for Don. So that's if I've ever seen a big boy boom, this is it. 3 docks is like that's peak booming right there. I
mean, it looks like Portuguese water boom, kinda.
Yeah, it actually does, doesn't it? It's exactly the same, just minus that 1 TC. We've now got the Explorer training up some dogs, and Kaiserklein respecting that, moving away. But it looks like Kaiserklein just opting for that sort of standard Fast Fortress style of play, sending in the 700 coin, the 700 wood, looking for a spot to put down his outpost, not realizing that he's sent it too far. I think this might be the closest he can get it to his opponent, just because of the way the town center is positioned on this map. Keep in mind that town centers are just so close, like barely a screen away from each other. And despite that, we'll take a look and see what Don is. We'll ride with Don for a little bit. Look at the resources that he's got in the bank right now. He is just... It looks like he's saving up for a house.
Jesus, yeah. He's getting so many... there's some kind of snowball effect with Logistician. So basically, of course, Spain gets a lot of XP, a bit more than other civs, but the fact that he built 3 docks and he's training so many fishing boats, then he's getting even more XP to send more resources to train more boats, and yeah, that snowballs that way, kind of.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So each fishing boat being 7 build experience, and the fact that he's sent schooners as well means that they're cheaper. So when you consider it to like
they train so fast as well.
Yeah, it's just a huge trickle of experience coming in. We've now got the next shipment in for Don Artie, so already sending that schooners as well as the 300 wood. He's opted now for fish market. Now, keep in mind with the Logistician, in addition to sending in those extra resources with Age 1 cards, it also sends them in much faster, so it reduces the time it takes by 20 seconds. So in total, it's a 20-second timer that it takes. So we can see just how fast that fish market is coming in. So opting to send fish market over things like rendering plant as well. So, we've got rendering plant in here, but he said, you know what, I'm not even interested in it because he wants to buy himself that tempo that it's going to speed him up in the early game. He's got 3 fishing boats in queue right now. This is absolute insanity, Lacaste.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, water booming super hard right now. And I was thinking, I'm curious to see why Donalty is not actually like walling anything. Could buy him some time, because by the looks of it, Kaiser is gonna go for, yeah, the typical fast fortress agenda, and he's gonna send 2 caravels as well.
Yeah, I think it's impressive just how many shipments he's getting in. So he's gone the 3 vills, the 700 coin, 700 wood, then 5 vills, and then sending in 2 caravels behind that. And the crazy part is, when he reaches age 3, he's probably going to have another shipment in there. You know, Spain just get their shipments so damn quick. And we actually see Kaiserklein. So timing, so sending 2 caravels as well as getting the Admiral of the Ocean Sea. So that's, for anybody unfamiliar, going to be providing him a caravel as well as 400 wood, so plenty of wood. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him dropping down a potential dock as well. We'll tune back in with Don Artie. We'll see what he's up to. Don Artie sending into town militia. So really preparing for a potential attack. This is...
And with the logistician, he gets the resources to call CM as well, because he's going to get like 200 food and 100 coin, plus his water economy. So
yeah,
this is just going to age up and, you know, gather for CM. And then when Kaiserklein shows up with 2 Fox or whatever, just pop the big boys.
And that's exactly it. But one of the curious things that we see, so normally with Spain, what you'd be going up with is, say, the adventurer, or, you know, you'd be getting out the crossbows or something like that. Oh, we've just got Samwise coming in with a subscription to ESOC, Samwise 12. Great to have you here, mate. I hope you're enjoying the action. We got a game on our hands today. Big Don Artie up against Kaiserklein. And it looks like Kaiserklein is probably going to be putting Don Artie back where he belongs, because now he's got 3 caravels that are really starting to put out some damage. Now, keep in mind, Don's actually going up with the Bishop. Now, the Bishop is going to be providing him a town center or a covered wagon, and, you know,
He's so greedy.
it's really, really greedy. But keep in mind, he's actually sent town militia as well. So technically, it's kind of like just being a Portuguese player and just being down a town center, because the Portuguese age up and they get a town center. And it's basically, Don Artie is a little bit confused. He thought he selected Portugal. He didn't. He got Spain, but that's okay. He's gonna role play as Portugal anyway. And now Don doing his best just to sort of prevent any damage coming in. We see that Don's got the ability to throw down more docks, and that's exactly what he does. So going to be losing the first dock, moving over the fishing boats, getting them in a safe spot, and now we've got some falconets coming in from Kaiserklein. So the timing attack begins. We'll take a look and see. This Kaiserklein, he doesn't have the advanced, the veteran musketeers in queue yet. Now getting a couple shots off on the caravel, doing some absolutely decent damage. Doing 300 damage per shot on the falconets, and the dogs coming in now. We've got Agave, and we've got both of the dogs are named Agave. So we've got the twins, Agave, doing work and taking down another one of Don Artie's boats. So Kaiserklein putting on a bit of a clinic, showing, and now we've got the big pop from the Colonial Militia coming out. We did mention this earlier. Wow. So we've got 9 militiamen that are slowly coming down, but look just how easily they're just going down. Now the covered wagon moving back, putting a town center down, safe towards the back of the base. 5 more dogs moving forward. A bit of a missed time on the dogs. It looks like Kaiser's going to try and focus them down with his musketeers. These are veteran musketeers now. Look, oh my god, the war dogs actually kill the falconet. So Kaiserklein not respecting the dogs enough and focusing down the dock when he should have been focusing down the dogs. So are we going to see Don also getting some more dogs out? Those guys are beasts, aren't they? And look how disgusting this is. What do you think of this Lacaster? Just the fact he just keeps moving back. He's got more docks. This is the 4th dock he's made. He's got plenty of room back here for more docks as well. How do you even get him off the water with this?
I don't think you can, honestly. But Kaiser has been doing a really good job at actually taking down 2 dogs, killing some of Don Artie's warships, and now what? Like, Don Artie is gathering on basically 2 whales on each side of the map, and yeah, so his water eco is just not gathering right now, which is what you want when you're trying to deny water, because. And now Don Artie is like reacting super hard to the water pressure and training 1 frigate and sending 1.
And that's exactly it. Like, we take a look right now and we see what Don Artie's up to. He's got 48 settlers, but 20 of them are idle. So realistically, he's sitting on about 28 settlers right now. And we take a look at his opponent, Kaiserklein, who's sitting on 30 settlers. So Kaiser is actually out-ecoing him by a mile here. We see that that's reflected in the scores. He's absolutely over the top of him. I really don't know what Don Artie was up to, what he was really thinking in this game. We've also got the frigate coming in as well for Kaiserklein. So, you know, just going to be forcing Don to invest even more resources into the sea. So I do like that from him. The 4 Lancers as well, doing a bit of work. And Kaiser really just putting on a clinic of how to control the map really quite well. Just absolutely no form of line of sight. No form of control up here to the north of the map. And now we've got improved warships coming out from Donardi. I'm curious, do you think that Donardi's really got much of a chance in this game? I mean, he's just, you know, he's being idled. He doesn't have a particularly large economy. You know, he's just losing.
I think so, yeah.
You do think he's got a chance?
I think he's winning, actually.
You think he's winning?
He's got... Yeah, for sure. He's got 2 frigates with improved warships, so Kaiser cannot come back on water, basically. He's only got a dock, so... best case scenario, he gets resources somehow to train the frigate and ship 1. But yeah, I don't really see that happening. So I think the best bet for Kaiserklein now is to switch to full land, take the TPs, and yeah, try to win the game like that.
Yeah, I think you might be right. You know, we did see Kaiserklein sending in that in that frigate a little bit earlier, but he obviously pulled back and decided to send Spanish gold. But unfortunately, he sent Spanish gold to his forward outpost. Probably not the most advisable location. We do see a couple of villagers picking it up, and a broadside going off onto 2 villagers at the back. The outpost now going down. I think Kaiserklein's going to lose. He loses 2 more villagers now. Only 80 coin left in this. And
oh my god, and 2 more.
It wasn't meant to be. And now we've got a 3rd town. Don, what are you doing, mate? Just throwing up a 3rd town center. And
my god.
Big batch of colonial militia now getting called. It looks a little bit awkward. Some are out on the other side, some are out on the south side. But they are looking to sort of do a bit of damage now to the muskets of Kaiserklein. Don's economy looking good, sending in the rendering plant. Don getting off a pretty decent trade here. The War Dog's coming in.
He's insane right now.
Yeah, he's on 63 villagers. He's got a lot of upgrades on that. The colonial militia are undoubtedly going to go down, but let's take a look and see what are the whales at. Let's have a look. 1 coin a second. I don't even think you can get villagers that high. That is a ridiculous amount of coin. Now trying to put up this town center again. Oh my god. You know what this town center means? This town center means, you know...
More CM.
That's exactly what it means. Is that what we see? Let's see it. Come on. Show it to us, Don. Let me see, let me see that big batch of CM. Is he going to do it? It almost looks like he doesn't want to do it. I think he knows Kaiser...
He's trying to bait the muskets a bit more forward. So he can, you know, buy back his hero called the CMTCs and... yeah, Kaiser just has to go back.
I think you're 100% right. Kaiserklein probably realized that and said, you know what? I'm playing with fire right now. I don't want to get burned. And he just backed out. But at the same time, we see Kaiserklein doing what you suggested or doing what you thought would be the best way for him to sort of get back into the game. So he sent Spanish gold, now sending 1,000 wood, taking all 4 trading posts. So I do suspect we're probably going to see him putting down, you know, 2 town centers, getting that big boom going. We've also got some petards being trained now. What are your thoughts about petards in this landscape?
I think it's a desperate attempt now, but I mean, it's one of the quickest and the most efficient way to take down contenders. So, I mean, why not?
Yeah, I think you might be right. It definitely does feel a little bit desperate at this point. Maybe it could have been useful maybe like 4 minutes ago if Kaiser had actually known what Don was up to. But I feel like it was somewhat taken by surprise by the fact that, you know, there was a lot of colonial militia. Let's say that one. We've got improved buildings as well coming in. I don't think I picked this up. He's got 9,000 hit points on this town center.
They're just never going to go down. And yeah, meanwhile, he's got CM that should be shooting these falconets at the same time, you know, from the town centers, so...
Both of the falconets have got pretty high HP, but now we've got the big boys coming in over from left-hand side. But, you know, I think if Don loses this town center, that's okay, because he's just going to build another town center, and he's going to be able to get more colonial militia out. And now we just see the lancers moving in to clean up.
Yeah, and 5 lancers, colonial militia, and yeah, that's just a clean up.
I think at this point, Donardi is pulling ahead significantly. He's got a 5k score lead. He's cleaned this up. Skirmishes are out. Colonial militia are cleaning up the falconets. This is a good game. This is over.
Yeah, this looks pretty over to me.
I don't think Kaiser's got anything that he can do. Don is so far ahead on. He goes up 73 villages at this point. Skirmish is moving out. double outposts as well that are really just securing this, and plenty of... And Kaiserklein in the chat saying, yeah, that's not Age of Empires 3. Oh my god. It begins. It begins. There it is. Oh no. Oh no. That is not Age of Empires 3. You are exiled from the semi-FF lobby, my friend. That wasn't a semi-FF. Actually, it was. It was more of like a booming semi-FF. Let's take a look and see what the village accounts end up looking like that game. Wow. Impressive stuff. Very, very impressive stuff. Don really just putting on a absolute show for us today. That was quite nice. I don't think many people expected that. As Spanish Mirror, Don Artie manages to come out ahead. Look at the resource difference. Like, you really just see the logistician and how much it can pull you ahead in tempo. Take a look at that, Lacaste. Look, just going and jumping up a huge amount from the beginning, 2,400 up to 3,200. Yeah. Then boom, 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 boom. Just keeps on going. That's impressive stuff. We take a look at the military unit population. Don Artie only training Minutemen throughout the entire game. We see a batch of Minutemen, another batch of Minutemen, another batch of Minutemen, and then finally a batch of Minutemen and some Lancers. All right, that's just not Age of Empires 3, Don. What are you doing to us, mate?
What are you doing, Don? Come on, man.
Oh, we got a donation coming in. Ottomans are the worst civ in the game. Buff this civ at the moment. It's an Age of Empires 1 civ and Age of Empires 3. Otto gang rise up. Well, you got a lot of gangs to compete with, my friend. You've also got the semi-FF gang to compete with, and they are quite a powerful lobby group.
Get in the line, kid.
All right, let's move on to the third game. What do you say?
I mean, that was a pretty interesting build order from Don Artie. Clearly a build order win, in my opinion, in the Spanish Mirror on Dakar.
All right, well, I'm just going to grab a Red Bull. Give me a moment. Lacaste, I'm going to give you a bit of time just to entertain the chat. My fridge is just behind me, so you've got about 3 seconds. Go for it.
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for the donation. We see a lot of ESOC Bodo on the chat. Buff Ottoman, trainable Spahis, and things like that, of course. But yeah, it was a really fun game to watch.
All right, I'm back. What did you say? How did you entertain them?
I mean, I was just surfing on the B auto hype going on in the chat after the $5 donation.
Yeah. Otto need a buff. Let's get them buffed.
Yeah, I know, right?
So we're moving into the third game now. So the third game is going to be Pampas Sierra. So I would suspect that we're going to be looking at civilizations that don't really need... they don't really need a trading post. So civilizations like the Dutch, the British, the Russians, maybe the Japanese. What are you thinking for a map like this?
Yeah, Japan definitely a decent option on this map with a lot of food and quite a spread map overall. Dutch, of course, being a good no-TP, safe pick. Russia, India, British, all these civs are viable. Kaiserklein cannot play Dutch anymore because he already won with them in game 1, so we'll see what he picks.
All right, well, let's get into the third game in the series. I'm going to open that game up now. Now, keep in mind, we're going to pause it just as we begin because I've got to fix up my sensitivity. What a series. This is shaping up. A lot of people thought that this was just going to be an absolute whitewash. Kaiserklein was going to take it 3-0, but it looks like it might be a 3-1 today. Don managing to sneak in a win. A cheeky win, I'd say.
Yeah, the cheeky win. Well, if Don got more tricks like that, then I can see him taking a second game and, why not even taking the series?
Look, I think if I was a betting man, I'd be putting almost all of my money on Kaiserklein. I'll say that much. But look, I guess at the end of the day, it's one of those things where it could go either way. We'll have to just wait and see. All right, are you ready to move into the third game?
I am indeed.
All right, I'm going to crack open this Red Bull. This stream is sponsored. No, wait, this stream is not sponsored by Red Bull. All right, let's move in. G'day, fellas. Welcome to the third game in the series between Kaiserklein and Don Artie. Spawning in the north of the map is Kaiserklein, playing the Russians, and his opponent, Don Artie, spawning in the south of the map on the Dutch. We didn't know exactly what civilizations the players would be going for, but we did know the map would be Pampas Sierra. Pampas Sierra is a map where there are livestock that spawn over on the west of the map, So there's a total of, I think, 8 llamas. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 llamas. And both players, we can see, are beginning to move in the direction of those llamas with their explorers. Kaiserklein going to be picking up the first llama, as well as Don as well picking up a llama. Now, with me this evening is the wonderful Lacastet. Lacastet, tell me a little bit about this matchup.
Oh, stop it. But yeah, about the matchup, it's hard to say. I think on TP maps, Russia got an edge, but on no TP map, then I don't see how Russia deals with colonial militia in H2 from the Dutch player, and then you can get like 3, 4, even maybe 5 banks in the back of that, and just play from there, which is a really strong option for the Dutch. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm expecting that we're probably going to see something similar. You know, after that last game, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of like, the Dutch have got this card in Age 1 where it reduces the cost of their town centers. It's like the Explorer upgrade card. Oh, Kaiserklein, be careful, Kaiserklein. All right, there we go. Man, that was very, very close to losing those 3 llamas. But yeah, Dutch have got this card where they can send in Age 1. It reduces the cost of town centers down to like, I think it's 200 wood or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if Don just did like, 5 banks into an FF with colonial militia and then like sent that card. He got like 3 town centers up and then he like sent the church card and he got like 7 banks up and then he just, fast imperialed into colonial militia. Like that's Don.
Yeah. No elites, town militia only until minutes 25.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that. We'll take a look and see whether either player has chosen a deck just yet. We've got Donati with the deck called 1v1, a pretty standard deck that we see here. What are your thoughts about this deck?
Yeah, I mean, one of the most standard deck I've ever seen. Colonial Militia, of course, which is the card you definitely want versus Russia. Sometimes we see players not sending that and making units in H2 with Dutch, which is also an option. But yeah, you definitely want that card just in case things go wrong. And yeah, no mercenaries for Dutch. Sometimes you like to have Swiss spikes or even the Hackapels in case you're running out of food and you're kind of miss-macroed. But yeah, other than that, super standard for me.
All right, well, let's go check in on Kaiserklein. We'll see what he's up to. Kaiserklein actually doing an 11 villager age up. So I didn't see whether this was idleless or not. Let's have a look and see whether he actually picked up any food treasures. He got a 70 food treasure. Okay, that's what it was. So he picked up a 70 food treasure, nothing else. And so he decided to go for an 11 villager age up. That's pretty early, isn't it? That's impressive. Let's take a look at his deck and see what he's got going. Another very standard deck here. So we see all the big shipments that we'd expect. 5 and 4 Cossacks, the 6 Oprichniks, and I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It might be Oprichnik. I'm not sure exactly how it's pronounced, so apologies. And 19 Strelets in Age 3 as well. Also got the Manchu in there. Going to be quite good against that Hussar timing. Both players now beginning to fight off. We've got Pong Linus from Don up against Ivan from Kaiserklein. And Don now going up with the Quartermaster, doing a standard 15 villager age up. So going to be significantly behind Kaiserklein. Kaiserklein almost in Age 2 already. We're at 3 minutes 30. I think this is the earliest age up I've ever seen for a Russian player. Have you ever seen something this tight before?
Yeah, totally agree. So I guess he must have found a lot of food treasures, and no, he didn't even eat the llamas yet. So yeah, quite impressed about this age of time, and it's definitely gonna be really good for Russia because they can stand early 5 Cossack. I guess he will have just enough XP with the blockers being built. Not quite yet.
Yeah, still got quite a way to go with that that XP coming in, but he's up so much earlier than he normally would be. So he's delayed his Cossacks by, well, a couple of seconds because he doesn't have the experience for this this next shipment. Maybe if he'd taken out, a couple wolves or something like that, it would have accelerated it slightly faster. Now going to be sending in those 5 Cossacks. So there they are. But it's incredibly early to see. These Cossacks are going to be in Donati's base at like 4 minutes 50, 4 minutes 52. It's going to be very, very early. And now the Explorer moving out, going to be taking down this native scout. I'm surprised this is still on the map at 4 minutes 20. It's a really good treasure. And to see it out on the map for this long is, it's impressive. We see the Explorer. I think the Envoy must have been taken out. I can't see the Envoy anywhere.
Yeah, I guess he died, and Donati going for 700 wood first.
A curious shipment, I would say,
Interesting.
considering how late he aged up. I would have thought he might have been just going for a bank wagon and an opening with a stable or something like that, you know, be a little bit safer. But going to 700 wood, it's going to be difficult. I don't think Don has realized that his opponent's aged up this early. This is going to be something that can be punished very easily for Kaiserklein, because we take a look, it's 4 minutes 55, and now heading into the base, just cancelling that bank immediately. Strelitz right behind as well. All of the villagers now getting called into the town center, and this is exactly what we were talking about. So the 700 wood has arrived. This just sits on the ground. Donati has got plenty of resources. He doesn't need 700 wood right now, but a bank wagon would be wonderful for him. First villager going down, so he's down to 15 villagers now, a 16th villager in queue. Explorer doing a little bit of melee attack with Ivan. Looks like Dong... Is it... I gotta be careful with that. Pong Linus going down. Now the village... See, the villagers are gathering up the wood, but what's the point in gathering up this wood, Lacastat? You can't do anything with this wood.
Yeah, he can't do anything. But yeah, as you mentioned, he lost a veil as well. And so yeah, as Hawkgirl is pointing in the chat, no, sorry, it's mini mode. Usually it's 5:30 when this Russian pressure comes in, and at 5:30 you already built your second bank with the 400 wood age up, which means you also get a second shipment in the back of it because of the build XP from the bank, and then you can actually send colonial militia versus this pressure. But here, I mean, Donati just has been idled for a while, and he was only on one bank, so he's losing a lot of resources there.
Yeah, I think it might just simply be coming down to the fact Donati didn't appreciate that early age up. It was so much faster than normal. Meant that the units just get in the base so much earlier. Idling begins earlier, and you're exactly on the money. And Minimold is 100% right that this rush is normally hitting a lot later than what it's hitting right now. Now Market trying to get up. Looks like these villagers, they need to get this market up so they can get their great coats and make Harrison proud. But they're not even going to be able to do that just because they're, you know, they're getting focused down. I think you might potentially lose a second villager out over here.
If he doesn't pull him back, yeah, he's gonna be in trouble.
Second villager going down. Bank wagon now for Donati coming out. This bank wagon's going to power him up to the next shipment. I think that's going to give him enough build XP. Yeah, it's going to give him enough build XP. And Don's got to be careful here. Don, get those villagers in the town center. He's going to potentially lose another villager, managing to get them inside. 17 villagers, 17 idols currently. And now we see that bank wagon. Colonial Militia coming in, or Town Militia rather, as it's now known, coming in, and these villagers just, they're trying their best to gather, but, you know, you can't control which villagers leave the town center. The only villagers that you can make come out are just, you know, you click this button here, and the villagers just come out of the town center. You don't get to pick which ones. So we see some low HP ones. Don's got to be real careful just moving them back into the town center. It feels really nice when you manage to get all those villagers back in before the shots, you know, as the shots fire, but before they hit your villagers. It feels really good. We take a look back at Kaiser's perspective. We see what he's up to. Wow. What do you think of this? Kaiser going for a full economy behind this. Up to 23 villagers, getting steel traps, getting all the market upgrades. He's got some villagers on a wood crate and doesn't have his placer mines yet. Do you think that Kaiserklein's doing the right thing here, focusing on economy behind this?
Yeah, I think so, because he's doing a lot of economical damage to Donati right now. I see him being cold, so he's gonna now one-shot the Strelets with the DC fire. But yeah, Dutchik has been idle for forever. He was only on 3 banks, and yeah, I think Russia is in a good spot right now. I think he's gonna try to siege that house and then probably go back because of the CM.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's decided to do. So 4 villagers now in queue for Donati, 10 villagers in the town center, just getting those shots out on the Strelets, one-shotting them. We see now Don is beginning to gather up, but now more Strelets are coming in to say g'day. We've got plenty of Strelets, and we've got the double blockhouse down as well for Kaiserklein. Kaiserklein dropping down a stable. Hasn't actually got this one started up yet. I don't know which villager is meant to be doing this, but looks like Kaiserklein also falling victim to the shift-click bug. Doing a little bit more
could be
exploring through the base of Don now. Also picking up 45 experience, so not too bad. A little bit of a gimme right there. But a 4th bank finally going up for Donati at about 8 minutes 30. Normally they'd be going up at what? 5 minutes 40, 5 minutes 50? So it's a little bit delayed, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been super delayed. So yeah, I can't really quantify how much resources he lost, but I think it has to be close to like 500 or maybe more. So yeah, Russia is just gonna go to the Fortress Age. I don't think he can accomplish much more in H2, so yeah, going to the Fortress is just the best option here. But yeah, I mean, Kaiserklein going for Cossack, Wood, and Coin semi-FF. Like, I mean,
it's just
semi-FF bot, right?
And that's just it. You know, people often talk about Kaiserklein. They say he only knows one builder, and that's 3 settler wagons, 700 wood, 700 coin. Or sometimes he mixes it up, goes 3 settler wagons, 700 coin, 700 wood. But it looks like he's found something new. 5 Cossacks, 700 wood, 700 coin. And so it's impressive to see that he's a flexible player, you know, able to really find those different build orders and really put them into use. We see he's going up with the Exiled Prince, going to be able to age up before the 10-minute mark, so doing a very nice timing. Going to be hitting the Fortress Age, potentially going to be dropping down those 2 Falconets. We could see, I think 2 Falconets or maybe 1,000 wood and potentially dropping down a town center. What do you think in this position? You know, what would you be going for, Lacastet?
I think I'd go 1,000 coin, drop an artillery foundry right now, and just train 5 Falconets and right-click the Dutch base, right-click his banks, trying to stay outside of TC fire. But yes, it looks like Kaiserklein is going to go for a second town center instead and look for an economical approach instead, which is also fine.
Yeah, I think this is definitely the safe bet. One of the things you got to be careful of is, you know, if the Dutch player gets up and he spots that you've got an artillery foundry somehow, you know, maybe he trains an envoy or something like that, and he spots the Falconets, very easily the Dutch player can, you know, use their market to sell off resources, drop that artillery foundry at the back of the base, 2 Culverin come out, and they nullify the entire push. And now you're just left with some Falconets that are useless because your opponent's got Culverin. So, definitely, yeah, I think the safe bet.
How many deals did Donati lose this game? I feel like he lost at least 5.
Yeah, I'm going to say at least 5.
Reaching H3, so I think he's in big trouble here.
We actually just saw a couple villagers taking out 2 muskets back to back. So these villagers have definitely got their great coat upgrade. This villager actually got 0 HP. So
yeah, it's actually possible.
You know, Harrison would definitely be proud of this villager. I can say that much because you know, he wouldn't be alive if it weren't for his great coat. And we've now got Don that looks to be moving towards that age 3. Now, one of the curious things is, despite Don being completely shut down in the early game, look at the scores. Don's still ahead by 400. Now, obviously, we know Dutch overscore a little bit. Russia typically underscore. So I would say that, you know, at this point, the real scores would be, you know, Kaiserklein would be up by probably about 2,000 to 3,000 points potentially. Would you be agreeing with that? Like, do you think that, oh my god, Kaiserklein just coming in, picking up the first villager, going for the second one? So that villager, despite having his great coats, it just wasn't enough. But would you agree with that assessment? Do you think Kaiserklein is significantly ahead at the moment?
Yeah, I think Russia is quite far ahead, just because of all the damage he's done. He slowed down the Dutch boom by a lot, and then, you know, like killed at least 5 or 6 villagers total as well. So yeah, now he's on 2 town centers. He's going for Strelets, which is, yeah, of course, good to deal with the colonial militia TC fire, because when they get to veteran and then they get Strelet combat, then they don't die to the TC in one shot. Following up his boom with 2 Falconets and aiming to put a little bit more pressure.
I think he's looking to drop down a town center as well. He's just crossed 500 wood, and his Explorer is in position for quite a nice town center as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a 3rd town center getting dropped down now for Kaiserklein. Perfect. Exactly what we see. 2 Falconets getting sent to the front line as well. So a potential push going to come through here. I don't think Kaiserklein would be expecting a cav switch. He does know about the stable, but going to be expecting that with Donati in the 3rd age now that Reuters are going to be coming out. And that's exactly what we see. Donati also going 1,000 wood in this position. What are your thoughts about 1,000 wood? I feel like, you know, considering you're this far behind, it's a tough spot. It's, you know, unless he's going to drop an artillery foundry right here and just make a whole bunch of Falconets, I think that this is a little bit too greedy because, like, you know, he's probably going to be looking to drop down his 5th bank because he's only got 4 banks at the moment. So if we do see a 5th bank here, I would be like, you know what, Don? It's probably not a good idea. I don't think you got too much time to be playing with this and going a 5th bank. Oh, we actually see a town center going down from Don. A 2nd town center. What do you think about that?
Oh, wow. Yeah, people talking about 5 Stradius. Did he send the church card in H2?
I don't think he has sent... Oh, he has actually sent the church card. Yeah, okay. Not something that I picked up on. There we go.
Yeah, Stradius would clean up.
Yeah, Stradius could potentially clean up here. We see a whole bunch of Strelets. We know he's got the 2 Falconets. We don't actually see them out on the field yet. Stradius are indeed going to be cleaning up, but we've got some cavalry archers on the back line. These cavalry archers hopefully are going to be what can help Kaiserklein and defend this. And the Reuters moving in to potentially take out the Falconets. Stradius now getting a little bit blocked up in this path. Just 5 Hussars here would be really, really helpful for Don. But unfortunately, no Hussars being trained. He's housed at the moment as well. Stradius getting kind of blocked by the town center, it seems. And
oh, no.
the cavalry archers managing to focus down. Really, really nice micro here from Kaiserklein. Falling back, more reinforcing cavalry archers going to be able to take down the Stradius. He's got... How many Stradius does he have left? He's got 4 Stradius left. The first one has gone down. He's moving back just to sort of let them have the Falconets. Is he giving up the Falconets, it seems? I think he's going to be giving up the Falconets.
Hussars do more damage to Stradius than Strelets.
Yeah, you're 100% right. They bypass that.
Reuters, actually.
Yeah.
It's also fine.
But despite having those Stradius that I honestly thought were going to clean this up, it looks like Kaiserklein's managed to break relatively even. He's in a bit of a hard spot at the moment, especially now that 5 more Hussars come out. Doesn't have veterancy on these Hussars. We've got the veterancy in queue, but you've still got the cavalry archers, and they stand, they fight, and they've got a lot of HP on them. You can see just the amount of shots they're tanking from the Reuters, and now that... They've still got cavalry archers just remaining, and they're just doing what they need to be doing. The Strelet mass is just, you know, it's not really dwindling what it should be when there's 5 Cossacks, or rather 5 Stradiets, and then 5 Hussars back to back on top of them. So impressive stuff. I think it might have been, you know, Don just really committing to that fight over here in the corner. If he just waited for those 5 Hussars to come in, that would have been a well and truly cleaned up fight. But unfortunately, just sort of the back-to-back shipments coming in, like with the 5 Stradiets and then the 5 Hussars, it's a little bit delayed.
Right. So we come back to this 1k wood shipment, right? If he sent 5 Hussars or even 9 Reuters first and went for the Stradiets, then he would have cleaned up for sure. But yeah, I mean, wow. Now Russia is just like sending upgrades, training batches of 9 villagers out of 3 town centers, and then, yeah, that's just where Russia starts to shine.
Yeah, this is a really difficult spot right now for Don to get back into this game. We see the score pulling ahead as well, about 3.5k score lead. 3 town centers is just really impressive stuff from Kaiserklein. We'll take a look and see how much his villagers are gathering. So you can see they've got the steel traps upgrade, as well as having the placer mines upgrade as well. A couple of villagers now moving back up to the north. I don't know. They're jumping over onto some trees. Looks like he's going to be throwing down a few more houses. Also getting the Boyars shipment in. So these Strelets are going to be in overdrive. I think it's a 15% combat increase. It is. So 15% HP, 15% damage. So plenty of upgrades for these Strelets. And a huge economy for Kaiserklein.
Yeah, and now it's going to get to the point where Russia is just going to get constant insane batches. And yeah, Don trying to rebuild this town center. But I don't think he realizes he's on a big timer right now.
Yeah, I think that the longer this game goes, Kaiserklein is more and more likely to win. I think at this point, if I was going to be like a percentage man, you know how sometimes you see in like, I can't remember the sports, but sometimes you've got like a percentage for players as they're likely to win. I think it's in Dota. In another esport, it shows the percentage of players going to win. I'd say Kaiserklein right now is at 99%. We've got the veteran Hussars moving in. These aren't Cav combat Hussars. We've got them connecting now with the Strelets. We'll take a look and see how many Hussars there are. There's 12 Hussars coming out. No more in queue at the moment. The Hussars are connecting with the Strelets quite significantly. Keep in mind the veteran cavalry archers have got that 30% melee resist, so the Cav archers are going to be absolutely fine when it comes to tanking through these Hussars. All they really want to do is focus down the Hussars and then keep moving on. Kaiserklein in a bit of a difficult spot now. All of the Cav archers have died, fallen down. Veteran Strelets are slowly moving back, being able to kite these Hussars. Hussars are doing quite well. They're 20% range resist, as well as the veterancy is going to enable them just to be able to tank a lot more shots than they'd normally be able to do. Don Hardy still being in a relatively good spot here, calling Minutemen as well, so getting a decent push in. Veteran cavalry archers now coming in to back up these Strelets. And we see a whole bunch. We've got 20 more Strelets in queue. The 3 veteran cavalry archers as well. We'll take a look back at Don's perspective. We'll see what he's up to. Sending in 7 skirmishers behind this, but his mass has really dwindled at this point. More veteran hussars, so this is quite a nice little reinforcing batch that we've got in for Don. But look, when I see the scores at this point, I just think from Don's perspective, he just knows the game has got to be over. Like, sure, his opponent is beginning to dwindle when it comes to mass, but you just know that when Rush is this far ahead in score, that it's not even a close game at this point. And now more Strelets just coming out onto the front line, reinforcing cavalry archers as well.
Wow.
Got to be able to clean this up. And it's a difficult spot for Don. I don't think there's any real way that he can come back to it. We've got the Strelets just hammering away. What even are those weapons right there? Look at them pulling out. They're like cleavers?
Melee Strelets.
Look at them go.
That's a big axe.
That's a really big axe. And now the cavalry archers beginning to back up the Strelets. This is a very decent combo. I do like this combo more and more the more I see it. I saw it between H and April, and now we're seeing it again for Kaiserklein against Donati. And Donati calling the good game, throwing in the towel, and record game playback finished. Congratulations going over to Kaiserklein, winning the 3rd game in the series. Let's take a look and update that scoreboard. Very well played by Kaiserklein. So winning the 2nd game on the board for him now. Let's take a look at the post game. So we'll jump in, have a look at the villager population, and take a look how many villagers Donati lost. 1 villager. 2 villagers. 3 villagers. 4 villagers. 5 villagers. So 5 villagers before he reaches the 3rd age. A huge amount of idling that went on. Let's take a look at idle villager count as well. Oh my god, look at that. That is disgusting. From 4 minutes 50 to 8 minutes 40, Don has 10 idle villagers at every point in the game, except for this one brief second where he's got 7, and then shoots back up to 17. He is idle from 4 minutes 50 to 7 minutes 59. That's ludicrous.
Yeah, that's just too much. What you want as Dutch is to get an early game economic lead versus Russia, and then try to make that pay off in early fortress when you have like veteran hussars, reiters, skirmisher, really good units. But yeah, just with the Dutch boom being slowed down too much and completely idled for a while, and Dutch was just never able to show his economy shining in early fortress.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And it all comes back to that really fast age up. And I think Don not preparing for that enough and not realizing or anticipating it and knowing the consequence of it. We see the villager graph as well. Towards the end of that game, Kaiserklein up on 89 villagers, despite being only 18 minutes through the game. So what we might do, we might just jump into the 4th game. I'm going to just double check because I am cognizant that with the replay files, the way that they work, it has chat at the end of the game. Now, I know that Don called good game. I just want to see whether anything was said besides that. We can take a look. So we actually see the matchup already. We're on the map Saguenay. Let's have a look and see. Nothing in chat. So Don really just not saying anything, just saying good game. Are you ready to move into the 4th game, Lacastet?
Yeah, I am. Portuguese on Saguenay versus French. Okay, that's going to be interesting for sure.
Interesting indeed. I'm looking forward to it. Don has already pulled out some impressive water plays. I'm curious to see whether we can spot it again. Now, keep in mind, there's not a lot of resources in this sea. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kaiserklein pulling out the 3-1 at this point. So, we've got the predictions now starting up in the chat. Get your bets in. What do you think it's going to be? Is Kaiserklein going to pull ahead and take the game, or take the series? He's on match point at the moment. It'll be 3-1 if he does it. Or is Donati, the underdog, the new guard, is he got a lot of potential with the Portuguese on Saguenay? Get your bets in now. I want to see what you guys predict. And I think we might jump into it. What do you say?
Wow, it's going to be tough to say. Portuguese is Donati's main civ, and it's of course really good on water maps, so curious to see how that goes. Yeah, French is a solid option as well on this map, because for sports you pretty much get a free TP line. There are 3 CDB that can help you to keep up with the Portuguese water boom as well, so yeah, definitely a few options as well. So we'll see.
All right, well, let's get into it. G'day, fellas. Welcome to the fourth game in the series between Kaiserklein and Don Artie. Spawning in the west of the map is Kaiserklein on his world-famous French. And his opponent, spawning in the east of the map, is Don Artie on his Portuguese. This map is Saguenay, and there are plenty of resources in the sea, rather. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 whales, I think. Is there 4 whales? Lacaste, you might have to help me out with counting. I've never been particularly good at math.
I think it's 4 whales on this map.
4 whales on the map, so not a huge amount of resources in the sea, but plenty of fish nonetheless that are going to be able to be utilized. We've also spawned in with a couple of islands in the middle, so we could potentially see some toxic towers in the middle of the map, also some docks, potentially even a town center or two, maybe even a factory on one of these islands. I always do like putting my factories on these islands when I am playing Portuguese and I get this map. We'll take a look and see what Kaiserklein is up to. Kaiserklein going for that early trading post, not having any issues with the shift-click bug, going to be getting that first pass. The Travar now coming through. We'll take a look and see if he's chosen his deck yet. He hasn't chosen his deck just yet. Got the Courier de Bar in queue. Now, keep in mind, you do have access to the Cree on this map, so each player spawns with a Cree settlement to the north of their town center, and that's something to keep an eye on because it enables the players to take advantage of potentially an extra 5 villages that they wouldn't otherwise be able to get, and they can do so at any point in the game. So you can get those as early as age 1 and start training those out, and it's like having a second town center, but already we see Don Artie doing the cheeky and starting with a 10-10. Now, earlier in the series, we did see Don Artie pull out the 12-10 when he was playing Spain on Dakar. And now, again, playing Portuguese on Saguenay, he's going for the 10-10. So, impressive stuff. Going to be picking up the 85 wood treasure here as well. How do you feel about this game so far? What do you reckon?
Don Artie going for a 10-10 build order. He's not going for a training post, though, which is interesting. Most of the time you see players going for a training post when they do this 10-10 strategy, but I guess we need to have a look on Don Artie's deck to see what his game plan is going to be. I guess he's sending a veil to build a dark right now. I
think you might be right, but, you know, I really kind of feel a little bit hesitant at looking at Don Artie's deck. The last time we looked at Don Artie's deck, I died a little bit inside. Oh, yeah. It was...
Yeah, I almost had a heart attack as well.
Yeah, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. He's sending in schooners. We know that much. Okay. Oh, God, it looks like something out of Kinesi's playbook. There's... Oh, my gosh. Okay, so we've got 3 unit shipments in here. We've got the 8 Cassadors as well as the 2 heavy cannons and the 4 Egyptian Mamelukes. We don't even see 8 crossbows in here. We've got 6 cards in Age 1. And the deck is called Hazza. So I'm not sure exactly if he's having a go at Hazza, if he's copied it from Hazza, exactly what he's doing. But a lot of upgrade cards in here.
Don Artie is just preparing for like quarterfinals, semifinals when he's going to face Hazza, you know?
Oh,
is that confident that he's already preparing that?
He's that confident. I like it. I like it. So a lot of good cards in here. Very defensive. Going to be able to protect himself on the sea with cards like Advanced Dock, as well as improved warships. Going to be able to secure his late game economy as well with things like rendering plant, whale oil, and then refrigeration and sustainable agriculture. So really able to balance out those economies. We've now got the Scout, the Shoshone Scout going down for Kaiserklein, down to 27 HP. It looks like he's going to be able to get it away, though. Does manage to get away on 16 HP, and a Scout on 16 HP is about as good as a Scout on 120 HP, so that is absolutely fine for Kaiserklein. He's going up with the Quartermaster, going up with 13 villagers. We'll take a look and see what he's got in his deck. So his deck is called 1v1 Water, so definitely... You know, a very standard-looking deck. He's got the improved warships in here, as well as the 2 caravels, the 1 frigate, as well as the team-ranged infantry attack, which we're starting to see more and more often. What do you think of this deck? You know, a very standard deck, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think this deck is really good, to be perfectly honest with you. 7 skirms, 3 clears. These shipments are just underwhelming when you play versus water, and it's got literally 0 late game upgrade for his economy. There's no Royal Mint, there's no H2 Mills card. So if this goes late game, I'd say that Ports is just gonna win because of rendering plant, whale oil, and like sustainable agriculture, refrigeration, like all these upgrades he's got.
Yeah, so I guess what we're saying is that Kaiserklein is on a timer. He has to beat Don in the first, 12, 14 minutes of the game, or at least put on a lot of hurt onto him. and really damage him down. And we see Don's Explorer is called Tig Biddies. So Don doing his best to avoid the word filter there. So I think, what was his name in the last game? Pong Linus. So now we've got Tig Biddies. And he's up against Kaiserklein's Explorer, Jean Bardin, the French Explorer. I think I pronounced that correctly. We'll take a look at Don, and Don's got a huge amount of line of sight. Oh my lord, look at this. So Don putting down a second dock over on the far island. Now this dock is going to be able to take shots essentially at any boat that gets into range here, and it's going to be able to do a huge amount of damage. So the docks have got, I think it's 40 range. Is that right, Lecastet?
I honestly have never really figured out what's the range on docks, but yeah, they get pretty good line of sight, and they're also, of course, really good for naval defenses.
Now, Lecastet, I know that you're French, and I was speaking a little bit of French earlier, so I'm going to speak some more French for you. I want to know what you think. How good is my French? All right, here we go. Bonjour. How was that? That wasn't too bad, right?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. Let's try this one. Je m'appelle Drongo. How was that?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That was pretty good? All right.
It sounds like you have like that Spanish accent, you know, like, my Drongo.
Oh, Drongo. All right. We'll go one more round. J'habite Saguenay.
Oh, you live in Saguenay?
Yes, that's exactly right. I live in Saguenay. I'm one of Donardi's villagers. Actually, no, I'm one of Kaiserklein's villagers because he's playing the French. Speaking of French, so he's got that outpost up nice and early. Going to be sending in 2 caravels, so getting the action started. Also training some pikemen. He's got the dock down, which has got the caravel in queue. So 3 caravels. He's going for that 3 caravel rush. Now, Don's responding to this. He's got the 2 caravels out already. Now, that's a shipment in Age 2 that he sent in. He hasn't made any of his own. But we see behind this, Don Artie putting up a 3rd dock as well as an outpost. So really fortifying his position on this island. Now, keep in mind, if he wanted to, Kaiserklein could come in with these 3 caravels, try and take down this villager. But you know what Don does? He just moves the villager up to the north and then gets him in a fishing boat. That's all he needs to do. And there's nothing that Kaiser can do about that.
Can also garrison some fishing boats into the docks to help him secure these outposts at the same time. And like, yeah, it's just doing Portuguese things, and Portuguese things on water maps are just really good overall. And that's why you see these, like, arguably the best water civ.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. I think if I was going to say, you know, which civ is best on water, I'd be putting Spain and Portugal both on S tier, and I would be putting France as like I would be maybe like B tier, maybe C tier. So it's interesting that Kaiserklein felt comfortable enough to choose the French on this map rather than choosing Portugal in and potentially facing up against a mirror. But one of the interesting things that we're starting to see is that Don Artie has indeed gone for that native trading post, but it's down here to the south. Don getting the fishing upgrade, so I think it's 15% on whales as well as on fish. So we don't actually see long lines in yet. We don't see refrigeration. We don't see whale oil, anything like that, but we do have that upgrade. So a bit of an expensive investment for Don to get this. I think it works out to be roughly about a 200 wood investment in the trading post, as well as I think about 150 wood, 150 coin for the fishing upgrade. Do you know off the top of your head exactly how expensive that is?
I think it's 90 wood and 90 coin. It's like ridiculously cheap for what it gives.
Yeah, that is very cheap. That's about the same price as gill nets, and that only gives, is it 10%? I think gill nets. So not too bad at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we've got the 2 caravels just posturing, just hanging out ever so slowly, trying to get through up here. I'm not sure exactly what they're trying to do, what they've been tasked to do, but we'll take a look at Kaiserklein. We'll see what he's up to. It looks like, is Kaiserklein going for, could it possibly be oh no, it's slightly different. It's 4 coureurs de bois into 2 caravels into 4 coureurs de bois into 700 wood into 700 coin. So it's a slightly longer semi-FF than normal, but
I mean, it's still a semi-FF.
It is. You got to give it to him. You know, he's the leader of the semi-FF gang. He's not gonna not semi-FF. He's always gonna do it. So Kaiserklein now taking 3 of the trading posts. 4th trading post is unavailable for him, so it spawns a little bit too close to the town center. One of the things about Saguenay is that the trading posts can spawn in awkward positions. So as an example, if we take a look at Kaiserklein, his trading post has probably spawned close enough to his town center down here to the south that Donati wouldn't be able to take this. Donati also wouldn't be able to take this, but Kaiserklein can take this one down here to the south. Now, the reason that we don't know if Donati could take that is because Donati actually hasn't explored the map at all. Don has literally, like, the furthest Don has scouted is down to this trading post. That's it. Don hasn't looked any further. He came in and got this treasure. What was it? The 85 wood treasure. And then he was like, I'll just grab this native trading post. I know where that is. And that's it. Don's doing his own thing. He's not fussed. He is absolutely comfortable where he is. He's in the danger zone. And it looks like things are about to get heated because Don's just trading some more caravels.
Oh.
He's got the improved warships coming in. We see that they've also got the upgrade there. First caravel just getting absolutely obliterated by Kaiserklein. Kaiserklein's caravel also going to go down. So now we've got the 3 caravels on 2 caravels. So really good trade for Don. One of the good things about Don and the position that he's got is any trades that go 1 for 1 are really good because he's got a better economy than Kaiserklein. So he's sitting on 59 villages at the moment. He's got rendering plant. He's got that fishing upgrade. He hasn't sent in whale oil just yet, but his economy is in a really good spot. 59 villages compared to Kaiserklein, who's only on 27 now. Keep in mind, he's got 3 trading posts. He's also got Cour de Bois, which are gathering slightly faster than normal villages. So the true number here probably looking a little bit closer to maybe about 40, maybe 42, 43. But definitely Kaiserklein is behind when it comes to economy. Also aging up now with the exiled prince, going to be up slightly before 10 minutes. So technically, yes, this is a semi-FF because he's up before 10 minutes. And the 2 falconets coming in for Kaiserklein, probably going to be sending them to the forward outpost. You know, I don't think Don's going to mind too much that this trading post is going down to the south of the map. Look how stat. After he got that upgrade, that was all he really cared about. I don't think he's going to need it. So Kaiserklein probably just going to take the 80 kill XP for it and then just walk away quite happy. I don't think Don's going to be fighting too hard for that. Also going up with the exiled prince now. So going to be technically not doing a semi-FF. Going to be aging up after the 10-minute mark. More caravels coming out. So Don's still doing pretty good when it comes to fishing. Like, he's got a lot of fish up here to the north. He's not particularly idle. He's got 9 fishing boats in here, but it's not a big deal. Like, the large majority of his economy is still functioning quite well. And this economy is, you know, these fishing boats are collecting a lot of resources when you consider just how fast this is.
Yeah, and he's got like, what, 80% of the water control? There's only like 1 whale that he cannot gather from. There's 3 towers on the shore though, so it's gonna be really hard for Don to get rid of the French water presence right now. But yeah, I don't think he's too unhappy about what happened on water. He had decent trades. He's controlling most of the water, which is what you want, and then yeah, just Kaiserklein trying to hold on to what he has right now.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Look, I guess my question is, Kaiserklein's investing a lot of resources in this, okay? So we've got 750 wood in towers. We've got 200 wood in the dock. A shipment in the caravels. He's trained, I think, at least 2 caravels as well because it might have just been 1. But there's a lot of resources down here, like at least 2,000 resources. And out of your opponent, all you've really forced are, you know, 3 caravels, maybe 4 caravels, some outposts, and your opponent has got a significantly greater economy than you. So I think it's important that you challenge water, but I just don't know if outposts on the shoreline like this are really the right way to do it. I guess that it just comes back to Portugal being such a strong civilization on the water. You know, what can you really do against it?
Yeah, because for the equal investment, you make towers to defend your part of the sea versus ports, while they just make docks and they train stuff from it, and they can transform them into towers if they get some fishing boats as well, which is why it's so good. Yeah,
and that's exactly it. And so now we've got a little bit of a scuffle heading out. We've got Donati, who doesn't have town militia in just yet. Also doesn't have that improved buildings in yet. Let's take a look and see what he's up to. Doesn't have a shipment in, so... Oh, he's actually sent... Town Militia must have just come in. Oh my god. Just as I changed... Just as I changed perspectives, Town Militia came in.
I'm getting some Game 1 vibes right now, and yes, I'm being called.
Yeah. The first Falconet looks like it's going to go down successfully. Donati being able to take that one out, focusing down the second Falconet. It's trying to do its best to get away. I think he... Whoa, that's a huge volley coming out from that Falconet. I think he might actually manage to get it away. Don's going to need to focus down this Falconet with his town center. He's got 11 villages in here, so he's got the opportunity to run away right now. And that's exactly what he's doing. So Don moving villages up to the north. Needs to get this Explorer out and snaring. Villages going down. And we've got a bit of a fight heading down out on the beach. We've got Don's frigate. The town center does go down. 200 XP going over to Kaiserklein. Some villagers now making their way across. He's got to be careful that he doesn't lose any more villagers, but he's obviously got another town center here. Could potentially be dropping down Colonial Militia again for a third time, or rather a second time.
Let's go. Because
there's another town center up here to the north. Barracks finally going down as well. He's got to be careful of this frigate. The frigate getting off a broadside attack, taking out the caravel of Kaiserklein. It's got 23 HP left, nowhere to go except for the bottom of the ocean as it sinks to the floor after finally succumbing to the powerful Santo Antonio, the frigate of Donati. And
yes, it's got carded warships with the armor plating, improved warships as well. So these frigates are super tanky now.
It's a difficult spot. Now we've got more militia coming out. Don actually taking out. It looks like Tig Biddies has managed to take out the Falconet by himself. I might have missed that, so apologies. Alternatively, the town center could have done a little bit of firing, but now Colonial Militia, 21 militiamen coming out here, just a huge mass. And, you know, people often say, oh, Don Artie, he doesn't make any units. Well, hold on a minute. Militiamen are units. What are you guys on about? Get out of here. Don Artie now dropping down a third town center. Now, this is kind of big brain when you think about it, right? Don's town centers...
You lose one, build one.
Exactly. Don's town centers are useless once they've called Colonial Militia. So you lose it, and then you just build a new one, and now you can call Colonial Militia again.
And again and again and again until your opponent presses the resign button, basically.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen, because we take a look at the score. Don now beginning to open up a huge lead, 5,000 point lead. His economy is significantly greater than Kaiserklein's at this point. Kaiserklein's sitting on 35 villages if we do a stock take. Also getting heated shot, so a good upgrade. But dropping down a second town center in the middle of the map, it's at 14 minutes. Now, he sent 1,000 wood. He sent that in after the 2 Falconets. So realistically, he sent that in about as quickly as you probably should. I don't think that I would not advocate to go for 1,000 wood first. I'd say you want to get the Falconets out. You want to start doing damage with them. And that's exactly what he did. Now training 4 Falconets out behind this, by the way. So a lot of siege coming in here. But yeah, I mean, the fact that this is only going down at 15 minutes, it's partly delayed, I think, by the fact that he spent so long in H2 and fighting a little bit over water and didn't get up as quickly as we normally see him get up. So his XP curve is a little bit delayed. Donati now pulling up about 8k score. Oh, I say 8k, but he just manages to close the gap. We see Kaiserklein with a big pop. So about 3k score difference right now. Now Don going up to age 4 with the Tycoon. Oh my lord! So
is he actually aging?
He is actually aging. He's doing it. This is like it's like watching Kanisi Jr. playing right now. Like Kanisi has taken on a prodigy, what's the word? He's taken on an apprentice. That's what I was looking for. 5 Falconets now coming in. Kaiserklein march of the Falconets right now. Going to be almost one-shotting this town center with all of his Falconets. They've just got a huge amount of damage. And now we've got the Minutemen march from the back. Now, I'm curious to watch these Minutemen get taken out by the Falcons. They managed to swing around, but don't take the shot out. And for oh my lords, they took out two of the Cassadors and then a whole bunch of Minutemen at the back, the rolling bowling ball. And now we got villagers popping out. 17 villagers here. Down to 15. Let's count how many Kaiserklein does it. Counting with Drongo right now.
That's a lot.
12. 10 villagers. So it looks like he took down about 8 or 9 villagers there. Kaiserklein doing a lot of work. Donati down to 59 villagers now, so not too bad. Mamelukes coming in right now. Oh my lord. Lacaste, you know what this means. There's a bit of a timing that's going to be happening right now. So the Mamelukes combined with the Tycoon. Now he's got this town center doesn't have a lot of health on it. He doesn't have the improved buildings upgrade in this deck, so not going to be able to send extra HP in. He's got to be careful though, because his Cassadors are really low HP, and there's 5 Falconets right here. So now we've got a huge batch of Hussars coming out behind this. And the Mamelukes, are the Mamelukes going to make it in time? Now, he's got a town center up here to the north, but he really needs to get this pop in. The Colonial Militia coming in at the same time. Egyptian Mamelukes, they all pop out. Look at the size of the pop. 4 Mamelukes, the 10 Hussars, the Colonial Militia, all of the Minutemen coming down. We've got the Colonial Militia or the Cassadors on the back line. And it looks like they're going to absolutely clean this up. The Falconets are all going down to the Mamelukes. All of the Colonial Militia are taking down the veteran musketeers. Oh my god, that pop was disgusting. How is that legal?
Oh my god.
It is just an absolute...
This was just insane for Donati.
This is just ridiculous. Then the town center went down just ever so slightly after. It was, if it had been 1 second earlier, all would have been different because those Mamelukes would have been stuck. But now we see that Don Artie's just able to repel Kaiserklein for, what is this, the fourth time in the game? Impressive stuff coming out of Don Artie. Don Artie now up ahead by about 3k score, 1 age up. Definitely in a favorable position, sending in 2 heavy cannons. How are you feeling about this game at this point, Lacaster?
Okay, so no matter how insane this pop was and this cleanup was for Donati, we have to keep in mind that he lost like 20 villagers and he's completely out of food in the sea as well. So right now he's sending heavy cannons, but I can still see French being okay in this game after all what happened. Yeah, it's just ports out of resources right now. So it's gonna take another good 5 minutes for ports to stabilize and win this game. So.
Well, you say that, but we've got 2 heavy cannons sitting inside this this frigate. So Don Artie definitely doing a speed run right now, taking out the single culverin that was sitting on the shoreline, managing to tank a lot of damage with the frigate. So this frigate going down to 650 health, so taking more than 2,900 damage or 2,800 damage here, and the 2 heavy cannons just sitting on the shoreline, just, you know, minding their own business and taking down outposts as they do it. So finally, Don's going to be able to clear out this infrastructure on the shoreline, and it looks like his fishing boats are finally going to be able to gather up the shore fish that is here. The 2 heavy cannons sitting down here comfortably for Don. We'll take a look over at Kaiserklein, see what he's up to. He's got 3 falconets down here to the south, a whole bunch of musketeers as well, and oh my god, Don Artie getting out a monitor at this point.
No.
We see the falconets look like they're going to be able to get a couple shots off onto the heavy cannons. Don Artie
that's
looking.
Not what you want. Heavy cannons would just destroy these falconets easily.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So the heavy cannons now moving back. We've got the monitor that's looking at. I think it's looking. Don Artie using the spyglass. He spotted the falconets.
No, don't do it.
He takes out the 3 falconets with the monitor shot. Wow.
Oh, this is disgusting.
How is this legal? Kaiserklein in the chat saying, yeah, whatever, this game is just in such a bad state. Oh my god.
Oh, what a way to end this game, man.
Oh my lord. Oh, Don Artie putting on an absolute show for us. Oh my lord. I'm a bit hot right now, Lacaster.
Oh my god. Ooh, I'm getting some goosebumps from that monitor crack shot.
Oof. Jeez Louise. All right. Let's take a look at the post game. Let's have a look and see what we've got. Take a look at resources gathered. Look how close Kaiserklein was throughout that game to Don Artie, managing to keep up with the Portuguese water boom, doing a great job of just idling him, you know, putting in a lot of damage. Oh, what a game. Let's update that scoreboard. Let's just give me a second there, folks. I gotta take a breather after that one. That was Don Artie.
Yeah.
Jesus. He's called Don Artie, but he should be called Don Monitor after that, because that was impressive monitor control. And how about the spyglass on top of it? Oof. Just, oh my god. All right, let's jump in. I want to have a look at the post game of the 5th game. I just want to see what the chat is. We'll jump into it. We'll pause the game right at the start. And I just want to see if Kaiserklein managed to say anything else in the game that just sort of, you know, really gave us a bit of insight into how he was feeling. Let's have a look. Nothing was said. He just
nothing popped.
Nothing. Just nice and easy. All right.
I mean, maybe they had a friendly chat during you know, the lobby games being set up.
Yeah, it was probably just a nice little chat, like, oh, you know, nice micro in that last fight. You too. That sort of thing.
Right.
Surely
yeah,
wasn't.
I guess this is exactly what they said.
Yeah, I think you might be right. All right, well, let's jump into the 5th game. I might just take a quick second. Whew.
Yes.
I'm
gonna do the same. I'll be right back in a minute.
All right, Lacaster, we'll wait for you. All right, chat. What did you think of that game? Holy moly! I love that he spyglassed the falconets and like gets the crack shot at the perfect time and hits all 3 falconets right in the middle. Boom. Boom. Just, you know, at that point, like, I love Kaiserklein, but I feel like, you know, It's oh, what do you say to that? What do you say to that? The spyglass was so great. Yeah, I got to agree with you guys. It was impressive spyglass stuff. Don Artie really putting on a show. And I tell you what, heading into this 5th game, it is anybody's series right now. Like, people were saying in the chat, I remember seeing it, people were like, there's no way Don Artie even takes a game off Kaiserklein. And here we are going into the 5th game. We're literally on, like, the final game in the series. Hazard in the chat saying that monitor instantly playing off more and more. Yeah, that's just it. It paid off so quickly. Maleval saying, why do people keep saying this isn't AoE3? This game is fun right now. Yeah, I got to agree with you, Maleval. I'm enjoying it a lot. I think there's a lot of wide variety of strategies that you can do. Did they sink my frigate in the end? Unfortunately, Antonio, your frigate. Your frigate is no longer with us. It's a little bit of like a Spanish, a little bit of a Russian accent. I don't know. I like that voice.
It sounds like a mix of both. Yeah.
All right. Well, Lacaste, you're back. Hopefully, you've got a cool beverage to keep you company. I've got my Red Bull here beside me. Are you ready to jump into this 5th game?
Of course. I just grabbed the cold beer, and yeah, more than ready.
All right. That's great to hear. All right, well, let's do it. Let's get into it. I hope you guys are ready in chat. You guys have got your bets in. Let's see which way this one's going to go. Let me just fix up the camera acceleration. There we go. G'day, fellas.
Perfect.
Welcome to the 5th game. No, you go ahead, Lacaste.
Yeah, sorry. I was, yeah, I mean, 3-2 in this series. So, yeah, final game. I'm going to decide the winner of this group. I believe so. And, yeah, we got Donati playing against Sweden versus Kaiserklein playing the French again.
Yeah, so obviously Kaiserklein losing that last game as the French means he can play the French again. Quite a good pick on Mongolia. Now, Mongolia, I talk about this map a lot as I'm a Sweden player. And it is one of Sweden's best maps, full stop. The reason why it's such a great map for Sweden is because you start off with this gold mine in base, and this gold mine's got 5,000 coin on it, so it means that you're able to drop 5 torps around here. Sometimes you can get 6 torps around here, and it's not too bad at all getting those torps up because they last for a lot longer. We see that it's also a pretty good map for the French as well because there's the 4 trading posts to the north of the map and plenty of yaks to be eaten up by the French player, because with the French, typically you're going to have an extra scout. So he's got the Inuit scout, which is going to be doing a lot more searching. We see a great scouting path out here for Kaiserklein as well. Starting off, getting that hunting dogs in queue. Now, keep in mind, on this map, both players start with an extra 100 coin. We saw Kaiserklein with the hunting dogs. Now, we've got Don, who's got 100 coin on the ground. He hasn't actually picked up this coin just yet because there's no real use for him to do that. He's dropped down the 2 torps. Don moving to the north of the map. Unfortunately gets a pretty bad reset off there. We did manage to spot that one just at the last second. He gets that reset. Going to be taking out the crack shot on that tiger. Potentially Kaiserklein aware of this. Not in a position to steal it though. Kaiserklein moving towards the north, taking a trading post for himself. So doing some sort of like absolutely crazy strategy where he pulls out a market start, pulls out a trading post, and this is all because it comes back to his treasures that he's picked up. So he's picked up an 80 wood treasure to start the game. So the 80 wood treasure is what has sort of given him this power to go into the trading post, starting off with the market, and then using that to buy extra wood for the house, and then using that wood that he bought for the house for the trading post and chopping a little bit more. Really, really nicely well done. So a great start for Kaiserklein, definitely. Lacaste, let's take a look at Kaiserklein's deck. Let me know what you think. We've got the standard 1v1 deck for him.
Yeah, it doesn't get any more standard than that, really. Wilderness Warfare, Team Infantry Attack, which is what you want versus Sweden. So you can get really strong skirmishers to deal with Carolians. Restoration as an upgrade for late game as well. And then, yeah, everything you need in a French deck.
All right. Well, he's sending in those 3 crew to bars. Going to have them coming in about 2 minutes 30, so not too bad, about on time where you'd expect it. Let's take a look over at Donardi and we'll see what he's up to. Donardi looking to age up relatively quickly here, eating a couple yaks, so he's found a couple yaks, not opting to eat them underneath the torps, and the reason why is because he's got so many villagers eating them up, so you really don't have to worry about them being underneath the torps. And now getting that age up in the queue, going up with the Naturalist at 247, so a pretty decent age up time from him. Let's tune in and see what his deck is made of. So going with the same deck that we saw earlier in the series when he played Sweden in that first game back on Kamchatka. So the 16 Karolians in deck, 2 heavy cannons, as well as the 6 Egyptian Mamelukes. So we spot he's actually stolen a yak or taken a yak from Kaiserklein's side of the map. Explorer, or rather the villagers now moving out to expand to the north of the map. Explorer still in base, probably going to be taking a crack shot off at this Black Panther, taking the 40 wood. How are you feeling about the opening so far? You thinking either player is looking a little bit more favorable than the other one, or think it's about even at this point?
Yeah, I think it's about dead even. I guess Franz got the slightly better start because he went market plus the trading post. But yeah, dead even. I think this map is also really good for Sweden. You have like these massive gold mines, 5k gold on them. So yeah, definitely a lot of top potential. But if you go super greedy with Sweden, then French can get the tipping line meanwhile. And yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think you might be right. We do actually see Kaiserklein moving to the north of the map. We can see that he's gathering up about 200 wood, not dropping anything down yet. I suspect we're going to be seeing a trading post being dropped down here. Might even see, you know, with his opening 400 wood, that he looks to get Stagecoach up extra fast, and then maybe even sends in 700 wood as well as the first card instead of the 4 crew to bars. I'm not sure exactly what the meta Sweden or French build orders are for maps like this, but I would suspect we might see something like that. Another treasure that we see, an interesting treasure. Now, I came up against this treasure. This is on a 1v1 map. This is a really strong treasure. 2 iron troops. So these are mercenary units. These are absolute tanks. 60% range resist, 225 health, 25 attack with a 1.5 rate of fire, guarded by 5 smugglers. That's an amazing treasure. A really, really good treasure. So we'll look to see if any player opts to pick that up or even begin chipping away at it, as some of them do. We've now got Kaiserklein about to age up with the Quartermaster, 4 minutes 40, so a very late age up for Kaiserklein, getting up with the 14 villagers. Let's see what he does. He does indeed drop down that villager, or that trading post. Villagers on the back line, trying to take out the Mongol scout. Let's have a look and see, do we get trade cart in queue? Going with 4 crew de bar first, and steel traps is what he's gone for as well. So dropping down a livestock pen. I didn't expect this at all, the Castet. Now, he's obviously done very well when it came to his yaks. He's got 9 yaks sitting on this livestock pen, so very, very decent amount of food that he's got here. So hasn't actually gone... Oh, I take that back. He's gone for the trade cart. We see it now in queue. So...
Oh, wow. He's actually going full greed here. Livestock, TPs, no units by the look of it. 4 wheels, coin to follow up, steel traps. Like, he doesn't get any more greedy than that.
Yeah, well, and going 700 coins, so not even going for... I was expecting that we would see 700 wood after this, but I suspect he's looking for like a really, really quick Fortress Age play here, potentially. We've got 4 couriers now coming out as well, so I would have thought with the 700 wood, you'd be able to go, you know, trading post, and then maybe drop a racks down or a stable or something like that and a house. But I guess maybe what he's looking to do is get enough wood for the trading posts with his existing trading posts, potentially.
Yeah, it could be a thing, actually. I'm still not sure if Kaiserklein intends to make any units in H2. To me, it just looks like he's going to build the last trading post and then rely on his wood income from the TP line. And yeah, reach the Fortress Age as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Both of the trading posts now being shifted over to coin immediately, so we see that first pass of the trade cart coming through. We saw the Explorer for Donardi just doing a little bit of melee attacks over on Kaiserklein's Explorer, so I'm not sure what the name of the Explorer is. Let's take a look. He hasn't renamed this one, so it's just called Frederick, so we don't get anything exciting with that. But I would suspect yeah, whoa, a bit of lag right there, so... I would suspect that this Explorer is going to be coming and dropping down this trading post almost immediately. That's exactly what he's going to be doing. So denying it from Kaiserklein. We take a look at Tor population. Donardi doing a great job. We see his resources really looking quite nice. got a double racks up already this early. We're at 6 minutes 40 into the game. And Don already sitting down with that double racks. He's got his ironworks sent in with a 700 wood. Going to be sending in those blueberries next, I do suspect. Let's take a look and see what he does. It is indeed the blueberries. So,
wow. Going greedy as well. What's his top population right now? 140? Yeah, definitely really strong economic start for Donati.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. No market just yet. So this surplus of coin, which very often happens on this map, is not going to be able to be transitioned into wood or into food or something a little bit more helpful at this stage. It's just going to be sitting up. You can see he's got about 450 coin now, so doing a great job of just collecting that coin, potentially using it for an age up. Maybe doesn't even look to send 700 coin. Often we'll see 700 coin come in after the blueberries, but I suspect that he won't even need that. His economy is just going to be in such great form. Kaiserklein now reaching the fortress age at 7 minutes 30, so we do indeed see that early age up. Going to be sending in 5 dragoons. A curious shipment to be sending. Oh my lord, all of his yaks are already fattened. God, these yaks fatten so quickly.
Dragoons.
Yeah, 5 dragoons.
Does he have a military building somewhere?
He's got a barracks that's going up, or that's up, training some skirmishers now, and a stable that's going up behind it. I'm curious what the 5 dragoons is about. Does he suspect? Does he know something that we don't? I guess he only sees one barracks, so he doesn't know about the second barracks. But, you know, in this position, you've already spotted 10 Karolians out on the map, right? Burning down your trading post. Why are you going for dragoons? I feel like, you know, a bit more reasonable response would be skirmishers, perhaps.
Yeah, I think he's afraid of he's been traumatized by you bashing him with Caroline and Hussars in H2, so that's why he's going for dragoons now, because he doesn't know if Donati is going to age or just H2.
I think he might be right. I do recall a number of games where that's happened to him, so he's learned his lesson definitely. And I think with dragoons, you're a lot less likely to be punished because you can always run away from your opponent. But I guess if you're shipping skirmishers, then that's pretty much it, really, isn't it? It's just, you know, if your opponent's got hussars, well, then it's over. But we do now see those dragoons moving out across the map, going to be contributing towards the siege damage that's going down. The skirmishers as well, also doing their bit to get in on the action. 8 skirms now coming in for Kaiserklein. So not opting to send in, say, the 2 falconets, which we do typically see from players. And his economy is in a decent position. The 24 Coureur de Bar, as well as the two stagecoach TPs. At this point, do you think that either player's in a particular lead? Do you think Donati's ahead? Do you think Kaiserklein's keeping up with him? What do you think?
I think Sweden is in a decent position right now because he took 2 TPs down. He forced French to go 5 dragoons when I think arguably like 1,000 coin combined to the yaks would have been like really insane for this early fortress age for France. He could get so much mass out of it, but going for the safe option, then you might regret it versus Sweden.
Yeah, I think you might be right. So definitely on the money with regard to the safe option and not going for that 1,000 coin, but like slowly eating the yaks. We just see a single villager eating the yaks. So we've got 3 down here that are eating the yaks, but I agree with you. Don definitely had a bit of a flawless age too, but a little bit, I wouldn't say a bit of a mistake, but definitely an overextension here, losing a couple of Karolians unnecessarily. This was originally 14 Karolians. It's down to 5 now, so losing 9 Karolians. And Don going for the Snaplock as the first card in age 3. Instead of sending in those 2 falconets, which can be very easily picked off by dragoons, it makes a lot of sense to be sending this in.
Yeah, he's gonna rely on like 100% Karolians and try to take them as soon as possible and try to take good trades from there. He's on 200 pop of tops as well, so his economy is like max potential right now. He's got 2 TPs, only 1 now, unfortunately for him, but still really good, in a really good position so far. Yeah,
I've got to agree with you. I think that at this point, like, if I'm the Sweden player, everything is going perfectly right now. I think everything is going to plan. As you mentioned, you know, denying a trading post as well as burning one and then denying a second one. So, you know, a really nice swing here. Karolian masses coming out. You got your snap lock in. 3rd barracks going down now for Donati. So just when you thought 2 barracks weren't enough, the 3rd one coming in. Also the 2 falconets as well. A villager getting picked off. So I guess in the early game he did. I'm not sure if I didn't see any villagers actually get taken down. I think that might be the first villager going down at 10 minutes. I might be wrong though. There was a forward villager that we did see earlier, so maybe that one also went down. Let's take a look and spot what Kaiserklein's up to. Kaiserklein also sending in those 2 Falconets. So, look, when it comes to the Falconet War and who wins the Falconet War, you and I both know what's going to happen there. Kaiserklein is just going to absolutely put Don in the ditch. You know, Don's really got to see where it can go from there. I think Don's best bet is maybe putting an artillery foundry up and potentially training Culves. And then that way he can win the artillery war without having to deal with Kaiserklein's amazing, micro. So Kaiserklein spotting the 2 Falconets out as well. Keep in mind with that native scout that he's got. Where is that native scout? There it is, finally getting uncovered. Getting a little bit too close to the town center for comfort, unfortunately.
Town center.
Yeah. So if that native scout had been alive, he would have been able to pick these off relatively well. But now we've got the Dragoons moving in to take shots off at those Falconets. So just doing a little bit of damage. 14 Dragoons out for Kaiserklein. And Kaiserklein spotting that second rack, so really should know that the Don is committing to infantry here. But despite that, continues opting for more Dragoons. And looky right here. Take a look what we've got here.
More Falconets as well.
More Falconets in queue. So Kaiserklein really just, taking a leaf out of GUA's book in this series and training a lot of Falconets. I do like it a lot. We've got the next shipment coming in. It's going to be Cav Combat. So Cav Combat here for Dragoons, I don't know if I can agree with this as much. I feel like, team ranged infantry attack or even, wilderness warfare might have been optimal here. But it's curious, because we don't even see a stable out of Donati just yet. He's playing Sweden. They don't even unlock a stable until the 4th age. So it's a little bit curious. I would have, I would have loved to have seen? A 1,000 wood. 1,000 wood and drop down an arsenal. Get your range upgrade, get your counter infantry rifling, even get range cavalry caracol, Like that to me would have been the perfect play for Kaiserklein. I think he's still in a decent position, but I think that would have been great. You could have probably even dropped down a town center with that amount of wood. Like it would have been wonderful.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. I'm afraid Kaiserklein has been too passive. So what has he done for the past minute? I think he could have been sieging, on the bottom of the map. There's like a 5k gold mine with 4 or 5 tops on it that he could have targeted, or just secure the last TP a bit faster and build down the tops on the top as well. Making more Falconets. Let's see what he does with that, because Donati is just making 2 coverings right now. Yeah, so Donati gets out a 3rd culverin as well, so he's going to be in a great spot when it comes to this fight, because the 3 culverin are completely going to nullify the Falconets of Kaiserklein. So it's going to be a very difficult spot for Kaiser. Now, keep in mind, Kaiser doesn't actually have counter-infantry rifling yet. And that's going to be providing a lot of a damage boost for the units that manage to survive. And, the Falconets are going to be very long for this world. They're going to be taken out very quickly. He actually spots the culverin now moving in. Falconets getting off their shots on the skirmisher. The culverin unpacking, getting a beautiful shot off on the back line of the Falconets. The first Falconet going down. Donati being able to take that out. We take a look at Don's perspective. We see the speed difference, 1.4 versus 1.6 speed, and indeed a lot of Carolians, 42 Carolians have got their military drummer upgrade. It looks like they're going to be able to get on top. We see the Falconets going down, the second Falconet going down from Kaiserklein. Don being able to pick that one off. And now more torps to the north going down. It looks like a trading post went down. I'm not sure for which player. It looks like it might have been for Kaiserklein taking down the trading post of Don. So that one finally going down. Going to be able to reclaim that 4th trading post in the trade line. And Don looking like he's in a decent position here. Those Culverin really switching it up. And now Kaiserklein training Culverin of his own. So how many Culverin are we going to need to see out from Kaiserklein? Potentially 3, I guess, would be the bare minimum. At least 3, yeah.
Yeah. But any more than that, and it's kind of like, it's a bit of a risky investment, because you can go 4. Take a look how slow those skirmishes are going. They're getting all bugged out around the house right there. Just classic definitive edition stuff, but still no counter infantry rifling just yet. Now we've actually got it coming in, that arsenal coming in now, as well as team ranged infantry attack. So we are seeing those upgrades coming in for the skirmishes, which is exactly what we need to see. More Dragoons being trained as well. So 20 Dragoons now for Kaiserklein. I think Kaiserklein's almost forgotten a little bit that Sweden just don't like making cavalry. A lot of people, when you think about these Dragoons, okay, these Dragoons, sure, they're putting out damage, but they're not particularly effective against the Carolians. If these were Musketeers instead, now we'd be talking. Because those Musketeers are then getting upgraded by, ranged infantry attack. They're getting all the buffs up from potential advanced arsenal upgrades that Kaiserklein doesn't have, so just ignore that. But Yeah, and now
And you get so much more siege out of musketeers as well. So you could have like 10 musk sieging tops on the top, 10 musk or 5 even sieging tops on the left. When you have like 30 skirms and 30 musk in your main army with artillery, trying to push the Sweden player. But yeah, dragoons just not what you want. But Sweden, yeah, as you were mentioned, doesn't really like to make hussars because they can't really upgrade them efficiently. But you could get some really good cav switches. Out of 2 stable ship 5 and then I have a really good switch like that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's 100% what you mentioned, because they don't really have that cav combat card. So if we take a look at the French, obviously they've got cavalry combat. It's 15% HP, 15% attack. Sweden doesn't have anything equivalent to that. Now Sweden have got a lot of upgrades. They've got more upgrades than I think every other civ when it comes to their cavalry, maybe with the exception of, say, Germany. But other than that, so they can get like the most upgraded hussars in the game, but it's very hard to do because it's a lot of cards and you're only really, oh my god, nice volley coming off. Oh my, the double! He got the four skirmishes on the front and 2 skirmishes on the back. Oh, the poor skirmishes. So a difficult spot. So he said you stay away from my torp right there, and Kaiserklein definitely heeding his warning and now going for an age. Going for an age 4 at 16 minutes. Don Artie definitely realizing what his game plan is here, knowing what his win condition is, and it's age 4. If anybody's wondering, what's the win condition for Sweden? It's age 4. And take a look how much resources are being banked up right now. 1,400 coin. This is enough coin for Mamelukes and to get the guard upgrade. Are we going to see... oh my god, we see Sphere Lifeguard coming in as the first upgrade, and then Guard Karolian straight away. So Kaiserklein immediately pushing. He's got that counter infantry rifling, looking to potentially posture. Dragoons running forward now as well. Kaiserklein potentially knowing that the Falconets are going to be coming down. He's got no scouting units. Keep in mind that native scout did die earlier. Falconet sitting on the back line. You got to be careful, Don. Do not fight before your guard upgrade is in. I learnt this the hard way earlier today. Sphere Lifeguard also coming in. Don's got plenty of Karolians here, but they are fighting against skirmishes, and he's got to be careful. Culverin now coming down. He's got to be careful. The enemy Culverin are coming in. Let's have a look and see what the range is on these Culverin. Kaiserklein's Culverin are just out of range. Oh, it's so close. Looks like they're going to be able to get some shots off on odd villagers, potentially, but that's about it. And Don Artie managing to get out of there by the skin of his teeth. Villagers going down. Couple villagers on the front line. Kaiserklein definitely posturing to end the game. He's up in score significantly at the moment, and more than 1,000, 2,000 point lead right now for Kaiserklein. So a decent score lead. Who do you think's at an advantage? And Kaiserklein managing to get a shot off on some Culverins right now. So picking off the single Culverin.
Sweden is winning for sure.
You think Sweden is winning?
What, less than 2 minutes, he's gonna get 6 Mamelukes, and then. Yeah, got Karolians with the 30% range resist. They also have like snap lock on. I mean,
but we got.
I can just see Sweden stomping this next fight super hard.
But we've got 4 Culverins on the back line. Going to be taking out the Culverins of Don Artie, and Don Artie charging in his Karolians. A little bit of a curious decision. No. Don Artie, what are you doing?
Everything.
He's down to 43 Karolians at this point, managing to take out 1 Falconet, but really nice micro here from Kaiserklein. A huge, massive Dragoons here, and Kaiserklein looks like he's going to be shutting him down completely. Absolute destruction, down to 35 Karolians now, and a huge, massive, just the skirmishes, 29 skirmishes, just on the back line, and just... You know, you were literally just talking about how far ahead Sweden was, and look at the score swing. Yeah. A 5k swing right now.
Mamelukes.
Going over to Kaiserklein, but the Mamelukes now pop out finally. Are they going to be able to save the day? We've got the Dragoons now moving straight away in front of it. Take a look at the damage that they managed to put out. Almost going to be able to 2-shot that potential Mameluke. They do indeed 2-shot that Mameluke. So just when you thought the Mamelukes were these crazy overpowered units, they actually get 2-shot by the Dragoon mass from Kaiserklein.
Yeah, but it's about the follow-up, because Don is gonna get XP, and he's stacking the coin almost for another batch of Mamelukes, and that's kind of how you want to play that. You know, like ship 6 Mams, kill as many goons as possible, close up the distance, shoot with your Karolians, go back, send more Mamelukes, and etc, etc.
Wait, so you're telling me these Mamelukes are infinite, Lacaste?
I think they are.
I think you might be right. They are indeed infinite Mamelukes. The Swedish player can continue sending them from the home city, and we've got one Mameluke that's just getting its snare on, really just doing its best to keep this skirmisher mass under control. Down to 6 skirmishers now for Kaiserklein. Don Artie managing to pull back up a little bit, despite looking like he was going to be in a bad position. A Culverin out of position now. It looks like Don's going to be getting this one for free. Takes down the first Culverin. He's going to get the second one as well, because he's got those military drummers. Second Culverin about to go down. Free Culverins. Everybody likes a free Culverin, and today Don's picked up 2 of them for free, despite giving one away earlier. And now we've got some villagers going to be going down, and Falconets on the back line. It looks like 2 Falconets on the back line, potentially going to be doing a bit of defense. But Kaiserklein now losing 2 Coureur de Bar. We'll take a look back at Kaiserklein and see what he's up to 43 Coureur de Bar, stacking 1,200 wood right now. Can we get an IP check? I think this might be Aussie Drongo. That's a lot of wood stacked up. What's he going to be doing with it all?
Yeah, Donald at the same time, he's researching arsenal upgrades for his Carolians. He's got the speed tech, I think. He's also got flintlock.
Oh, sorry.
It's just making these Carolians better and better. And now at this point, they just counter skirmishers because of their range resist and the speed.
Yeah, you're 100% on the money. Apologies for pausing the game just there. I was reaching for something else and accidentally got a hold of that. So Don up to 38 Carolians now, and you did mention he's got the military drummers, and that really is such an important upgrade for Carolians, because it allows them to close that gap, get in a lot closer on top of those skirmishers. We see they've only got 4 speed against the 4.68 speed of the Guard Carolians, and now we've got heavy cannons coming in. So despite that, score's starting to even up a little bit. Kaiserklein, is he aware of the heavy cannons? It doesn't look like it, but he does have Culverins training in queue, so he might suspect something. I do think that he would suspect it, but take a look at this. Kaiserklein's still sitting with 27 veteran dragoons at this point, and now the heavy cannon's getting shots off on Kaiserklein's infantry mass. Donardi actually posturing, looking pretty decent. Very nice volleys coming out. 6 idle villagers at the moment. Fix that up, Don. Get on it, mate. And Kaiserklein dropping down a 3rd town center towards the north of the map. Don looking pretty good. It looks like he's almost coming for the throat, but I guess one of the things to be careful of is that your opponent's got the potential to get Culverin out. And 3 Culverin are going to do it. 3 Culverin are going to get rid of these heavy cannons. So is that what we're going to see? Are we going to potentially see the surprise batch of Culverin coming out from Kaiserklein? Is Don going to sense it?
Yeah.
Don bringing it in nice and close.
He's going for the TC, but if anywhere he needs to push, I think it should be the French resources, not the French base, because there's nothing around this base.
I think
you're covering, as you mentioned, just popping.
Yeah, you're 100% right, but Don actually spotting the artillery foundry, but then just moving back. It looks like the Culverin are potentially going to get a lock. 1 shot going off, but they managed to save the 2nd heavy cannon. All the Culverin going down, and now the Carolians moving up into close combat. Going to be able to get on top of this. The 1st Falconet going down. 2nd Falconet now getting focused down. It's going to be shortly killed, and there it goes. 24 Carolians remaining.
Kaiser is raiding with all his goons, I think.
You're 100% right. That's exactly what he's doing. So Kaiser got a huge massive goons back here right now. So when he should be probably over here fighting, he's doing a bit of raiding. And you got to keep in mind that, you know, villagers for the Swedish player, well, they're not particularly important. They only care about their torps. And speaking of torps, we've got more torps up here to the north of the map now. Kaiser's expanding up here, but keep in mind, these torps have mined 1,760 of this coin. This is a non-existent coin mine. It's barely got anything in it. And for the French player, that's so important. Take a look at what he wants on this map. He wants coin. And he's expanding up here thinking there's going to be coin, and there's just none there. Kaiser's got no villagers on coin right now because there's no coin mines available for him.
That could be really bad news for Kaiser. If he's out of coin, then he cannot train the skirmisher, which is the only counter units he has. So
it's a really tough spot for him. I think he's almost got to be down here contesting this coin mine, but we see that Don's actually down here already. He's got 13 villagers, going to have a 14th villager down here, so he's making himself very comfortable. So almost like Kaiser not really paying attention to the fact that Don's been able to top up that mine for so long, and Kaiser hasn't really punished it. He never sent out pikes, never sent out halberdiers, never sent out muskets up there to siege those down, just sort of left them going there. He's had the Explorer on that for ages. I tell you what, I'd hate to be Don Artie in this position because that alarm would just be going off constantly. Don taking a shot off with Frederick, his Explorer, killing one of those Dragoons, so getting a pretty nice nice little crack shot. Going to potentially be able to trade up a little bit more. Don getting a sneaky little raid in on the backside. 7 Carolians going to see what they can find. We'll spot it and see if there's any villagers down here. a couple of villages, Kaiserklein actually pulling them back ahead of time. Did he spot that? How did he know? Was it this? Oh, it was this house. They ran past the house, and that was exactly what he saw. So Kaiserklein definitely in a bit of a difficult spot. All of his trading posts are on coin, so that's going to be his only source of income at the moment because this coin mine is about to go down. He's got a single Kura to buy out at the moment, and a difficult spot for Kaiserklein. It's almost like he's going to have to start training crossbows against this mass. What do you think?
Well, I mean, if you get to the point where you train crossbows versus like super carded god Caroleans, you might as well resign, honestly. Yeah, he has to transition to plantations at some point, and it's just going to be super slow. He's got a really good CDB economy behind that, and he's got TPs as well that he can put on coin. But yeah, it's just going to be a slow transition still.
I think you might be right, and it's always a difficult transition to get to, especially when your opponent is ahead in age. We see that Don doesn't look to have any factories in just yet. Sending in Mamelukes from the home city. So this is impressive stuff from Don. He's sending every single shipment except for his factories, even sending in his Mamelukes in twice. So Don really just, you know, putting on a little bit, like a lot of people go up to the 4th age and they just send their first 2 shipments are just always factories. They don't even think about it. Don Artie,
yeah, but
not even
Don
thinking
is doing
twice.
The correct thing for sure, 100%, because he knows French is out of coin and Sweden is gathering the last coin mines on the map. So all he has to do is invest everything he has into military, and then he's just going to win the game. Doesn't need to send factories as long as he's got resources available.
So despite Kaiserklein being up 3k in score, you still think Don is ahead at this point?
I think there's so much potential with these God Caroleans and Mamelukes that are just going to trade so well versus these 3 units.
All right, well, we'll see what you think.
There's like what, 80 Caroleans on the field?
We've got 48 Caroleans here. We've got 20 Caroleans down the bottom, so 70 Caroleans. You are indeed correct. The Mamelukes now moving out across the field. We've got the Caroleans charging in as well. They're at 5.68 speed, managing to get the melee off.
Deciding fight for sure.
The first Mameluke going down. We see all of the pink numbers in the chat. Caroleans are just doing so much work. The Caroleans moving forward now, the huge mass of them. So we've got 48 Caroleans pushing up, a whole bunch, more reinforcements coming in behind, and all of the Mamelukes are going to go down, getting their snare off, and Kaiserklein in the chat saying, ha ha, oh, you know it's not good when Kaiserklein's talking, and he just, he resigns, Don Artie wins! Don Artie takes the series 3-2! Who would have expected it? Don Artie!
That is ridiculous.
How do you do this?
This game reminds me of the Sipo Euromi days, but it's even better than that.
Don Artie, Don Artie, more like Don Smarty. How does he do it? Don Artie taking the series 3-2. Absolute upset. I think there were so many people coming into this match saying Don Artie isn't going to win a single game. Don Artie's not going to take, you know, a single game off Kaiserklein. Don Artie's barely like PR 12, PR 10. You know, people were saying that about Don, but I tell you what, after watching this, you know, despite him losing a lot of villages throughout this game, incredible stuff. Really impressive